Hello and welcome to This Contains Garlic. You're here with your hosts Georgia Garlic and
Mark Garlic.
and you know
And it begins.
and it begins. You know what? I think the last one we were like, well, we'll be back next week, and then just like life was like, no. It's almost like our life has been put on fast forward for the past however many weeks.
We've also been inefficient with our time due to people wasting our time.
Oh God, here we go. So today we obviously haven't been on the old headphones for a while, and I guess just like everybody's life, things change, things adapt, and we had a number of things kind of like, I could describe them as hurdles. Hurdles. No, they were hurdles. They turned into hurdles. Good news is we've just finally launched our new app for all of our clients. Which has been, I love that, the enthusiasm of like launching something when you're just so tired.
To be fair, not to toot our own horn, but the new look and feel of our app is vastly different, and the feedback has been really, really positive and amazing, to be honest.
And if you don't like it, you can fuck off. And welcome to me. Welcome to the mood I'm in today. No, we obviously we decided way back when, we've been running an online business for quite a few years now, and when we moved back when did we move back to the UK in 2021? We were like, are we going to open up somewhere new? Are we going to do like a gym? Are we going to do a clinic? Are we going to do something? Or are we going to stay completely online? And I think, for those that understand or don't understand, running an online business is like the most complex matrix sometimes, where you just literally want a break from everything, because being online becomes really unenjoyable. Like, I haven't been present on my own social media for fucking months. Do you know what I mean? I have no energy
outside of reposting work content
or just like a photo of my family. Like, I have no energy to like literally do anything, and it comes to a point where we haven't had a break, and it's kind of our own wrongdoing, but I guess work has consumed us. We want to get to a position where things are more like steady, which they are now. Which means we haven't really actually taken a break off, but come November...
Not that anybody cares, though.
Nobody gives a fuck, do you know what I mean? But, actually, if you do value us, you will give a fuck. If you don't, then, again, fuck off. People will be like, okay, she said fuck off with at least 15 times.
We're going to see how many times you say
How many times? I'm in that mood today, just fuck off. But we were... Oh, God... For those that have listened to our podcast for however many episodes that we've done, you all would have been aware that when we moved out of London, we moved into Surrey. And we've been here for, can you even believe it, a year, which is crazy where this time's actually gone. But we've dabbled in conversations with multiple people around here, not from our own doing, probably their doing, actually. And we kind of came into a situation where somebody offered us, not offered us, it was, we started to give something fucking back, do you know what I mean? Like a cut of our business.
We offered them something.
Actually, take that back. We actually, no. I think you need to, go, because you've got fucking ants in your pants over there.
Have I got ants in my... No, I haven't got ants in my pants over it.
No, you've got to let people explain situations, Mark, and you're not very good at explaining the situation. No, you can't just go at the situation.
I'll participate.
You will participate, because this is my podcast now. Okay. I am the captain. No, we were approached with, long story short, it was a couple of property developers who had a opportunity not to open up a gym, but to open up something that Mark, for fuck's sake.
They didn't want to open up anything.
Mark,
please, can you utilise the space? We would have.
Can you listen? No, okay, Mark, fuck's sake, you annoy me. You haven't laid the story out.
Yeah, but
you're going to be told to fuck off in a minute.
It was his idea when it wasn't. It was
our idea. Mark, you're not letting me. If you let me actually finish, we'll come to the fact that, of course, it was our idea.
Wonderful.
For many, many years, for those that understand my journey, I'll speak for myself here because my husband just won't shut the fuck up. I have always, and a long-term goal of our business has to potentially always been to open up like a long-term clinic to help people have like a health overall in an institution where people come and stay for long periods of time. And for those that do or don't know my own journey, that's kind of where I started my whole weight loss journey. Is I pretty much took myself away and sorted my shit out, and I had the help of professionals to get me into a position where I was healthier and happier to go about my day-to-day basis. And since I was put through multiple fat camps and clinics and stuff as a young person, I kind of founded an idea that I actually think that I can do this, but not make it so unenjoyable, not make it so, I guess people are petrified going to places like that, where I used to go to, and not make it so brutal, but actually create something that genuinely help people. So this has always been in the back of our mind, but to be able to create something at the level that in my head I need, it takes a vast amount of investment. And I think coming back, we opened obviously up in Cape Town, we came back. It hasn't really been the right time. We haven't really known where we wanted to base ourselves, etc., etc. So the idea kind of was put, I guess, aside whilst we built obviously the online business. And then we had somebody come to us wanting us to utilize a property that they had developed. And the property itself was like absolutely amazing, like in the sense of the space. It needed a fuck ton of work done to it. But we were taken along the lines of, okay, well, I'll invest into this, you create the concept, you do all of this, and then we'll open up a business. And me and Mark were like, okay, skeptical. And so we're kind of thrown into a situation we had to create like multiple business plans, things, ideas, finances, costing, all of this thing, to kind of only realise that, like, I don't really know. I had a gut instinct to start off with, hence why it wasn't something that I was willing to entertain. I think Mark, slightly different. You entertained it far more than I did, because I'm too sceptical for this shit. And I think we've got a reason to be, have we not?
I mean, now we do.
Well, you're annoyed, but I'm annoyed because I feel like it's a waste of fucking time. But I don't even care. I don't even care.
It was one of those things where we're in the environment where it's a couple of big fish in a small pond where everybody tries to draw relevance from trying to pretend like they're super rich when in reality it's probably not the case. And like most like all of the like there's been numerous times that guys have approached us and different businesses and said, would you run our business, would you take over, would you utilize the space whilst we move country or move city or whatever they
or take the actual business.
Yeah, just take the. You know, there's been 4 guys since we've moved back, and the reality is when you sit down with everybody and then you say the magical word, well, let's talk finances, then that's when people start to evaporate.
I never ever will ever, like, I've done it too much in my past, like, life, I could say, in my past life. I wonder what I was in my past life. Anyway, probably just something miserable, telling people to fuck off. Like, maybe I had Tourette's. Parking attendant, one of those people that gives you a parking ticket. Yeah. That was probably my last life, actually. I refuse to allow anybody to diminish our value in this world, because I worked so hard, and I think vice versa with you, like, to actually create our value. To have anybody like shit on it, I will fucking set you on fire. Not actually physically, but I will. And the biggest thing for me as a woman is I've learned this because I've been in the shadow of so many men in my career, like, and I will be 100% honest with that. I texted Mark the other day in the gym and I said, I'm a female, get me out of here, because I was legitimately just swaddled with men and their fucking egos. And I never want to be in a situation where a man or somebody that has a vast amount of money, and trust me, like, we've worked with enough of them, can either speak down to you like they've got something better than you, or I guess just in general. So the one way I've always liked to take this is to how can you make a man feel as insignificant as possible. And this is something that I feel like I've actually skilled. I've got a good skill going, because I just don't believe or will let anybody sort of shine down on the fact that we are the business, we are the concept. Without us, it's fucking nothing. Without anything or to do with our ideas or whatever, it's nothing. So don't think that you have anything to offer us. If anything, the opportunity was the other way round.
I mean, it goes from you can either potentially rent the space out to a yoga instructor or somebody who does a group class, and you might get a couple hundred.
Mark, you're going into finer details here where we don't need to do this.
No, but I'm just saying, or you could potentially have a percentage of a business that could scale to...
No, there's you're not, because you're now going into like fucking finer details, and now you're going to make me have to. You are, because it's not making any sense to people.
Let's just move on.
It's not like, long story short, it was an opportunity that we explored, but like I said no to start off with, and I did tell you that, didn't I, Mark? I said no fucking way, no, and obviously I said fuck off,
when
no.
Don't you say no?
Because am I right? I'm not sure. Because am I always right? And do I have like a sick instinct about people and going into business with people? Do you want to look at me over the microphone and tell me that I'm right? Thank you.
No, but I'm just, you have to flesh it out. Otherwise
no, you don't need to flesh it out. You don't need to flesh it out to the extent of like fucking...
No, I appreciate that. That was a waste of time. Hence the reason why I said it was a waste of time.
Yeah, it was a waste of time. And as I always said, like, you know, a lot of people don't value your time or what you have to offer. And I feel like the only people that have ever valued our time or what we have to offer are those that we've directly worked with, because we've quite literally changed their fucking life. And unless you actually have experienced that, then I'm sorry. Like, I don't think you really should be investing in a business unless you just give us a property and fuck off, honestly. Like, you know, it's one of these things where you're dealing with quite like, would I want to open up in hindsight, like a lifestyle clinic where we are now?
Because
no.
Otherwise we would have. And the answer is no. The reason why we haven't done that is numerous. How long?
Because I don't like the people around here.
Yeah,
I think they're all miserable.
So...
I think that like I'm sick of like how many people genuinely like think that the world like shines out of their arsehole, and they're all on like mass amounts of loan sharks and fucking financial plans, and they're just busy waffling on about cryptocurrency, not to realise that it's fucking crashed. Do you know what I mean? And it's all just a load of nonsense, you know? And I don't know why, but maybe because we're in an area where there's just less people than London, you just don't feel the same London. Like, I've always worked with incredibly high net worth clients face to face, you know. I'm used to being around people that are very comfortable, but not in a way which kind of like round here's different. They're just like, and I was brought up in Surrey, but this part, it's fake rich, and it's just awful. It's like
fake rich. Like there's yeah, it's like, it reminds me of being in Harare, where everybody has probably lived in the same area for numerous amounts of years. Everybody kind of knows each other's business. Everyone's trying to do one up on one another and who's more successful. And it's all on credit. And the reality is...
Do you know what's really horrible to see, though, is that there's
a couple... when you ask somebody to pay 400 quid for something and then they start sweating, and then you're like...
400 quid, try and get them to pay you like $1,000. Like all of the people, oh, can you train my wife? Oh my God, I've seen how you train. Can you train my wife? Oh wait, I can't afford you.
How much are you?
No, she can't do that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh wait, I forgot. I thought you just literally bought a house in Saint-Tropez. Oh wait, we're not talking at that level of fucking money. But this is a thing. I mean, it's not to say that some people don't do well for themselves, but the people I appreciate that do well for themselves are not the ones that go and fucking tell you about it. Honestly, it's draining. Like, oh, I just thought I'd let you know that I've made £1 million investment. I'm like, I hope you lose it, honestly.
You know what I mean? We don't even know each other.
Let's talk about the neighbour as well, because whilst we're on this, if you remember last summer, we launched our podcast. Was it last year? Yeah. Before we moved out of London. We launched a podcast and we had the nightmare neighbour next door that handed us the orchid back after we gifted it. Now we've got a similar neighbour fucking where we are now.
Gifting it back was trying to steal our stuff.
Okay, so number one, we described this. We've told people about this, the plants that they nicked. Mark had really bad allergies, so we put the plants out to then go and give to one of our other neighbours because we'd agreed that she'd take them because she'd be able to look after them better. And so we left them in a position where she'd be able to take them. And anyway, like the next day, like they were gone. And then I saw them in the house of our neighbour and like propped up in new pots and like all of this thing. And I was like, they've just quite literally nicked our trees. Do you know what I mean? Like they've nicked them. Anyway, I was like, oh, whatever. I'm just going to leave it. I'm just not one of those people to like cause a fucking scene. Funny that. Until you piss me off. And so I just kind of left it, and then it was just like really grating on me. So one day, and they've got cameras all around their house. They're like kind of those pedantic people, like those Ring cameras in every window, like watching you. And so I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to take them back. So I just walked into them and I took them back. Anyway, fast forward a few months, to secure the complex of which we're in, it was agreed, because a lot of people have got dogs and stuff like that, and they were running out onto the car park, the road, all of this, that we would secure it with gates. Do you know what I mean? Just gates that allowed people to like close off things. People weren't in like, I don't know, because it was all open before. So everybody could chip. Well, we didn't chip in exactly. We said yes, and then one of the women was like, you know what, I'm going to cover this because I'm the one that needs it the most. And so we were like, oh, super happy to chip in. But all of the dog owners were super happy and like, you know, pumped. Had all these gates installed, like thousands of pounds later or whatever. And then she got approached by this said neighbour that literally stole our plants, saying, I just want to know who installed the gates. And she said, well, I did. Do you know what I mean? We agreed, and also with all of like property management, everything agreed that they'd be installed and everybody would have use of them and blah, blah, blah. And if anything, your house is way safer now. You know,
she
like
also told him twice
prior to this, anyway. He said, well...
And wrote a letter.
He said, the click in the gate is waking me up. I'm very jet-lagged at the moment, because they travel all the time. Very jet-lagged, and... it's really affecting me, actually, the click in the gate when it's closed. Is there any way that we could just turn the gate around, i.e. just not work the gate properly, so it doesn't click in? Anyway, so she didn't tell me this until we went downstairs, and this guy approached me and Mark outside and was like, oh, just kind of like barging through. He was, I just thought I'd through the hedges. Do you know what I mean? I just thought, whilst you're here, do you know what I mean? I just thought I'd tell you, because I'm not sure if Ali has or not, you know, the gates, you know what I mean? I look at my watch and it's 5:30 in the morning and I can hear the gates because I've got my windows open and I'm very jet lagged, because I just sort of let you know I've been on holiday. Do you know what I mean? I'm very jet lagged. I'm jet lagged. Do you know what I mean? And I was like this. So my temperament, I think I was probably 2 days out of coming on my period, was nothing. Like literally I just went... I was like, I'm not going to do anything about it. I said, I wake up in the morning early because we go to work. We're not jet lagged. We're working early in the morning. I'm so sorry that the gate is doing its fucking job by clicking back in. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going to, and neither should anybody, fix these fucking gates in order for you to be satisfied with the noise. You're not even here half the fucking time. Do you know what I mean? You can't, not warranted for us to fix... The fact of the matter is he's gone and now complained to pretty much everybody about the fact of noise. One click, okay? It happened how many times? Twice, he said. 2 clicks, okay? But it didn't happen on the Saturday. I thought, are you taking a fucking spreadsheet? You literally, like, probably, because he's got so... He does, he tracks everything. And I just said to him, I don't know if you know what work is, Stu, do you know what I mean? But... fucking
Stu. Stu, you're a prick.
Stu, you are a fucking prick. And do you know what? There's plenty of people when you live around others where you just think, why has nobody told you this to your face?
You have to be considerate though, because that's what you told me.
I did say to Mark, right.
Georgie
I was like,
even
suck it
messaged
up.
the woman and said, I vouch on my husband's behalf that he will be considerate. Courteous.
No, I didn't. I said that, and she's obviously, we've obviously got a jokes agreement with them. Like,
yeah,
obviously, everybody wants to slam the gate as fucking hard as you can.
We're super, bullshit, but in reality,
Mark, I went at that man to the point where he's now ignoring us.
Because no, good, because he used to chew our ear off for 55 minutes about the time he invested 2 million quid in Bristol in a Costa coffee shop, and you're like, you've told me this 9,000 times.
But have I told you about the structure of the roof that was at the Domino's franchise that I like?
In the 2016, there was a leak on the 3rd floor on the right-hand corner due to a toilet, I'm like, dude, I can recite the entire story back to you 10 times.
Do you know what I'm realising more and more? And you said this to me yesterday. You
People
actually
just
said
repeat
this.
themselves.
How many times do people repeat themselves? I pick
Is that because
up
people
on
don't listen
everything.
though? Because like people will constantly be like, "Oh, this is what I did on the like I know what you did on the weekend. I know what you ate. You told me. I know every detail."
I just
Why are
hate
you
when people
repeating
repeat
it?
themselves. I say this to my mum though, because sometimes my mum goes on the story. I'm like, I fucking heard this. I've been your daughter for like so long now. Do you know what I mean? Like, how many times do you think
It's
you
like
said
every
this
time
story?
we get together and we have to bring up Georgia Dean, Duke of Edinburgh.
Okay, that's just you've brought this up. You've brought this up so much on the podcast. You're actually annoying me. Do you know what I mean? Let's not bring up Duke of Edinburgh again. Many people have brought up. You're the problem. Do you know what I
sorry,
mean?
just-
When was that brought up last?
No,
It
I'm
hasn't
sorry.
been.
I'm only just teasing, okay?
Oh, just because you don't fucking have like any conversation with your family doesn't necessarily mean you need to have. Well,
I'm
you
doing
don't.
very good WhatsApping my mother almost daily. What?
Oh.
Talking about Ollie, the dog, and making sure she doesn't overfeed him. And
Oh
kill him.
yeah, like mum. Do you know what I mean? Mum, where are you? I feel like I'm mentally deranged. Your mum, their dog. Oh God.
She overfeeds the dog.
She
too
does
much
overfeed
food.
the
And
dog.
Mum, if you're listening to this, don't feed the dog.
mum's
you
not
don't
listening
need
to
to feed
this.
the dog 3 times a day.
And she gives it like chow mein noodles. Do you know what I mean?
Just like
When
the
Cardi
one-
went to stay with them,
Yeah.
Cardi had severe diarrhea to the point where she was actually like vomiting and shitting all over the house because they fed her, what was it? English breakfast tea, full English fry up, noodles with chicken, and like the
bacon,
Mia,
eggs,
Cardi's always had
sausage.
yeah, the amount of fat that went through
Sausage,
Cardi.
lots of sausages, and the dog's obviously going to wolf it down.
Yeah, and like her intestines were like screaming, do you know what I mean? Just like, why are you giving this? And anyway, Ollie's had that for how many years, the little dog?
No, it's only just recently got bad, but they've both
Mark,
been
they're very overweight, the
Yeah,
dogs,
they've both been very overweight.
Yeah, I know. So they could probably do with not being fed like 4 times a day, but
Yeah.
and also human food, but you know, each their own. So anyway, that's all that dilemma. But no, on the good news is we have just literally launched our self-care. You know what? Let's just take a moment. We're going to take a moment of silence to just literally anybody listen. No, shut up, Mark. Honestly, anybody listen to this when you just haven't had a break.
Are you at wit's end here, George? I feel like you're sounding a bit stressed out.
I am, because it's like so monotonous, and I'm actually like, okay, this is actually
How about
being
when we
a.
finish, I'll let you choke me unconscious. Maybe that'll make you feel better.
God, no,
Do you
Mark.
not
Let's
think
not
that would make you feel better?
choke you.
Just
I'd choke
take
someone.
out
I'll
all your
choke Stu
anger.
downstairs. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you might like that.
Yeah, fuck, he actually probably
His
would.
wife would definitely like that, because you can see she's just
I could get paid to
"Shut
make
the
men feel
fuck up,
insignificant."
Stu, come on. But she's just
She
not,
was the one that nicked the plants,
She
though,
was
so I didn't
not
trust the
the-
wife either.
Yeah, to be married to a man like that, you have to be.
Yeah, you have
tapped.
to be deranged.
You
I'm
have to be- I don't know what you see in that man, honestly.
But you know what? I just see this so much with just men that I'm sorry, some of you are not like this, and I've got one
there
that's
are a lot of men that are very misogynistic.
No, the word is the word for a lot of people I would describe in the last couple of months has been obnoxious.
Yeah, obnoxious
I have
is a
used
good
that word to describe far too many people, including my sibling, didn't I?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, I find it really hard for people that just live in their own world, and I think when my job has always been to help a lot of people, the same with yours, you know what I mean, manage like a lot of people's lives. Like some people you just manage what they do in the gym, and other people you're legitimately managing their day-to-day life into what they do, what they eat, what they say, how they think, like, and it gets to a
Especially
point.
now with our new app,
Oh, just fuck off, Mark, honestly.
where you have habit scheduling and all these other really fun things.
Mark, nobody cares if you're not a client. Do you know what I mean? Like, honestly, like,
No,
and
just
nobody's going to get access to the app unless you're a client. So let's
A
not waffle
self-less
on
plug.
about features and start
sorry.
like
Yeah,
somebody was going
sorry,
to sleep.
I interrupted you there. Sorry.
Yeah, sorry, it's my podcast today. It's all me. I don't know, but I do think it gets to a point where I'm tired. Do you know what I mean?
No, I just want
I
you
am
to talk
tired.
about why you think your sister's obnoxious.
Oh God, let's just fucking dob everybody in. I find our sibling relationship quite challenging sometimes because we don't really speak, and I think the view on the relationship is slightly different on either side. And I've always found her incredibly inherently selfish, and that's something I've always said on this.
Did you do
I've
you
always
think
said that she's inherently selfish.
do you think anybody in your family takes you seriously?
I don't think your family take you
No,
seriously.
of course not. No, I didn't ask you that question. I didn't.
I don't know. I struggle because I'm the youngest out of the whole family. Out of all of the family, actually,
I
I'm the
know
youngest,
my
barring
family
like the
doesn't take me
great grandchildren.
seriously. I
And if
cannot.
anything, like I've worked with, I have more understanding of people due to either my qualifications and my experience and my job on a day-to-day basis than any of my family would together.
Yeah, but you're not answering the question. Do you think they take you seriously?
Um,
You'd be a very good politician, just going round the question.
well, sorry, I'm just fuck me, Mark. Is this an interview? Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
it is an interview. We're doing.
Do I think they take me seriously? No, I don't. I don't think. I think they would like to say that they would take me seriously. I think maybe in the last couple of years, certain people in my family have taken me more seriously or valued it. But I never think that your family are good business, like, or good clients, or good. Like, I'll be honest with that. Like, they're the least ones to listen. They're the least ones to respect and value your time.
Yeah, of course,
And
yeah.
I'm sorry, it's just the way it is. And I think most people, unless you're legitimately running a business as a family, like, it's really hard to manage because people are like, shut up. Like, you're like, okay,
Yeah,
it's not the
especially
fact
when
that
it
I haven't
comes
qualified
to,
in this.
health and.
Yeah, and it's just always like, somebody's always got one up on you in a weird way. And, it's weird because we deal with so many people going through the stage of midlife. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of our clients are midlife stage. Yes, we're younger than them, but my God, are we experienced in helping, individuals at that time of their life. But I still think it's that thing. I think when you get past the age of 60 as a man, you're not going to listen to anybody else. That's fucking certain. I do see his traits, and I think, if you talk back to my sister is whatever.
I think it's harder to buy in. Once you get to like 60, you need to have for that person to listen to you. You have to provide an exponential amount of buy-in for that person to actually pay attention to.
I'll be honest with you, I don't think there's a big enough niche for those that are targeted as general population, because, going to be honest with you, general population are the people that least give a fuck about their health.
Yeah, that is very true.
And it's proven. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the reason why you're in that situation in the first place, is because you don't either have an understanding, have never even opened your eyes up to potentially an understanding, or you don't have any interest in it. So, speak to, like, it's the same. I went to see my grandma, when was it? A couple of weeks ago, who's obviously very old now, and it's really depressing to see, because I think out of everybody in my family, and I'll be brutally honest, I'm sure my mum's listening to this like fucking raging, she's going to WhatsApp me. I actually think that the relationship between me and my grandma was probably the closest out of anybody in my family, because she just... Yeah, I don't know. It's one of these things, is that obviously as she's got older and she's become more, obviously now completely dependent on care and stuff, like, the relationship has obviously faded. Like, I'm not even sure she knows who I am, but it's one of those things where it's really horrible seeing somebody that you value, I don't know, like, the whole way through your life, like, decline so rapidly. And you kind of sat there, and it was shit to see. And I just kind of said, like, I kind of got annoyed. I said to my mum, I was like, why is, like, I appreciate, like, she's older now, she's had a number of falls, there's been a number of issues, but, like, we've made her immobile. We have put her, like, you know what I mean? Like, nobody's helping this woman. She's literally just like, you've got a bit of care a day, giving food. There's always an excuse back. And if I know I'm the youngest of the generation of the family, where nobody will listen to you, but I'm also, and put myself on a pedestal here, the most qualified to deal with this out of everybody in my family. So actually, my opinion on how we should manage grandma's health should be warranted, Now, there has to be give and take, though. Do you know what I mean? Like, I appreciate if you're in your 90s, should we be thinking about, like, feeding you a nutritionally balanced diet and stuff like that, when actually just eat the cake? Do you know what I mean? You're probably not going to be around for much longer. Enjoy it whilst it's there. But I also think that kind of puts a lifeline on somebody if health is not addressed, Like,
I think it's very difficult to address an old person's health to the degree at which it needs to be addressed, especially if they haven't had the subsequent years leading up.
Yeah,
to
I know. I
them
totally
with
appreciate that. This is, there's so much
Because imagine the
argument for
cost
it.
of, you would need somebody that's like almost like a live-in physio to like live and care after you, or your grandmother, or just an old person in general that gets them moving their body, facilitates.
Yeah, but I'll be honest, I'd rather my grandma had one carer, one full-time carer who
Yeah.
legitimately was like, had her best interests at heart,
Yeah,
than
like
multiple carers coming in and
24/7,
out,
yeah.
like leaving a sandwich. Like, it's horrible for grandma. I can only see it.
It's so confusing
It's
for
so
her as well.
confusing. I know she's got into a routine now, and I know I'm like, my parents, like, I'm not in a position, like, my parents were like, you're not in a position to fucking say any of this. I am, but it's it comes to a point where, like, I appreciate the reason she is not currently in a home is because she refused. It was like that would have been the most depressing thing for her, being in a home by herself, but she's always lived by herself, and she doesn't like her home currently. She tells everybody about that. She hates being there. She can see, like, when she put herself into home, even though she owns it, like, it's just
she didn't
not,
really
she's
vibe
not
with the
happy.
place, even when she moved in, though.
She's always had a problem with that place, and I think it's the whole thing of, like, what you've known and stuff. And I think it's shit seeing, like, people, the same as I bang on about all the time, like, if you're in a position where you can look after your health and you're 55, 60 years old, maybe you're 40, you're 35 or whatever, and you are in a position where everybody should mainly be in a position to look after your health, unless you're obviously of a slightly different cultural, socioeconomic background, you should be actually prioritising this. It's not just a fucking joke, do you know what I mean? And I say this to the guys that get out of Porsches, do you know what I mean? Or they can't even get out the Porsche and have to upgrade to the Porsche Cayenne S Sport SUV because they can't get out of the low sport fucking Porsche because their hips physically won't allow them, or they can't even get into the car.
M&S
Do you know how many
car
men
park.
have told me that?
M&S car park.
M&S car park in Hazelmere. Fuck, it's
In
enough, do
Hazelmere.
you know what I mean?
I want to make a montage of men getting out the car and they're like,
Did you see that guy at the petrol station? It was like, honestly, like, like, literally. And I just thought, look, there are people who I've watched, close family friends, people, health just degrade so rapidly as we have got older, as, like, the children now coming to, and these people have, look, nobody has a fault. Like, the amount of cancer that's around these days is vile. Like, your family's been ridden in it. Our family's been ridden in it. Fucking every person I'm around seems to be ridden in it. It makes me awfully scared. Don't get me wrong. When those stats come out and you're like 1 in 2, you're like, fuck, it's one of us. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's only a matter of time, it seems.
And we know couples that are 2 out of 2, like, in the sense of both of them have had it. But I'll say it again. You have no room for endless amounts of sympathy or whatever if your health is degrading and you carry on encouraging that, and you've got optimal chance of trying to make yourself better and you do nothing about it. It's tiring. You look at somebody and go, well, that's a life wasted. You've worked all your life.
I just wish everyone had the same energy as they had for vaccinations as they do for their own health.
Oh God, let's not start on the vaccination.
No, but it's a very good social experiment.
Because they were scared. Guess what? They put scarcity, literally put people in.
But then we should do the same. Do you know what I mean? They should show people getting their fingers and legs chopped off from diabetes and being like, if you don't fix your health habits, and like they do with smoking, where they put all the pictures.
Yeah, and now what's happened is everyone's vaping, and vaping can now be done everywhere, which means people's
and I
health
guess
is
you would
declining.
say that to a certain degree is like fat shaming people, because essentially it just would be fat
I'm not
people.
talking about fat people though.
But I'm just saying, like, in general, like, it doesn't
See,
have
I was
to be.
I was literally
doesn't
placed.
have to be based on body shape. It should just be based on self-care habits, essentially, like alcohol consumption, cigarettes, doing exercise,
Yeah, like,
stuff like that.
People always say to us, oh, I've lost my motivation, I just don't know how to get back into the gym. I just think this shouldn't be like an on and off thing. Unfortunately, very unfortunately, like we say to each other, we are not genetically gifted to not give a fuck in any way, shape or form. Yeah. And right now, when I do this podcast, I am starving, and we are in the best shape that we possibly have ever been in. Mark, maybe not because you're in bodybuilder, right? But like that was statistically unhealthy in some way or another. But And the sacrifice we've had to do to get here is not enjoyable, and it probably will phase out in a couple of months because I'm starving and I'm trying. But the reality is that we can't be in a position to obliterate our calorie count on a day-to-day basis, to obliterate, we can have a couple of weeks on and off, you know what I mean? But
yeah, but how many times do you roll into the gym and you're like,
I don't roll in anywhere.
Oh my God,
Mark.
I'm so pumped to go tomorrow. I'm absolutely frothing. This is the conversation that happens in the car on the way to the gym. Oh, geez, I'm feel broken. Oh, yeah, I'm also broken. I'm in pain.
I'm not in pain.
Do you know what I mean? Not in pain, but like in pain as in like DOMS or like
I don't have DOMS. I'm just hungry.
Well, yeah, George is generally hungry. I've got a bit of DOMS. I don't really want to be here. But we still do it. It's just,
okay, right, Mark. I'm sorry to say this, but I'm not going to relate with you there.
No,
like
you don't
sometimes
have to.
I'm like, I am tired. I don't want to get my steps in. I can't be asked to walk. I can't be asked to eat. Like, why do I have to track this? Like, what is the vibe?
But it's still.
But I do it. But I'm also have a realization that I'm never you're never really dragging me to the gym.
No, I'm not dragging you to the gym, but in the sense of people, the misconception is that you have to consistently be motivated in quotation marks, when I'm not to say that we're not motivated to go to the gym, because it's pretty autonomous, but it's not like you're absolutely frothing 10 out of 10. Sometimes you can be a 6, sometimes you can be a 5.
Just any exercise
you're still
though,
there. You're just there though. Do you know what I mean? You're still there.
Statistically, the biggest determining factor, which we see even more and more the more people we work with over the years, the difference, the biggest factor we see between those that struggle with weight management and those that can just sort of in a weird way effortlessly maintain their weight within maybe like a 4 to 5 kilo ratio, it honestly comes down to not them tracking their food, nothing to do with that, not them going to the gym. It comes down to how much they actually move on a day-to-day basis. And statistically, the clients that a lot of, other clients, oh, how are they in shape all year round? Oh, my friends always, I'm like, stop looking at what she's eating, stop looking at what she does in the gym, stuff like that, and start realising how much your friend moves on a day-to-day basis. Not because she's doing it anally, and I've got to do this. She just moves a lot more, you know what I mean? And that is the biggest determining factor that I have seen with clients, and is to... you put somebody on a step target because it's almost forced, especially with remote working and office jobs and stuff like that. It's fucking hard to get your steps in. But not to say that pre-pandemic, people were walking to work, they were walking everywhere, do you know what I mean? And then everybody became just static, do you know what I mean? And as I always say, time and time, the what it's done to people's health, and we'll speak for just the UK alone right now, but worldwide, it's quite obvious, it's just declined it rapidly, not only for mass amounts of joint pain and limited, you know what I mean, but also weight problems, weight management. And now, as I always say, the strain on the NHS is huge, whilst they just fucking go and enroll some weight loss injection and just hope that does something for somebody. It's honestly let's all just try and understand what happened in our lives that happened in nobody's life before. Anybody that was alive, whether or not you were 95, yes, you probably went through world wars, which we haven't been, thank God, maybe next. But, the reality is nobody experienced being stuck in a home, do you know what I mean? Just unable to leave and being, oh, here's a vaccination, there's a virus, and it just felt like it was everywhere. And if you stepped out of the house, somebody would cough on you and you'd get it. And it felt like a movie in a weird way. But a movie that transitioned into how many years? Fuck. And now it's cropping back up again. And I don't even want to entertain that conversation because I've just seen how damaging the COVID virus.
Is it?
Probably just want to get people to get their vaccinations again for the 400th time. Do you know what I mean? Get some pharma money. If anybody's watched that...
oh, jeez, go long on some Pfizer.
Oh, fuck no. The Netflix documentary called Painkiller, which was actually, it's based on true story, but it's about the pharma company that's going through the scrutiny of Oxycontins, like pumping. And it's honestly, it's eye-opening to see... I know it's obviously a Netflix program, but they start it with people that have have
I don't
siblings
think
or
it's-
children
yeah,
that
I
have been
don't think
lost.
It's too far from the truth.
No, absolutely not. And we know people that work for pharma
And
companies.
it just shows you that with people's instant appeal to authority, oh, they're a doctor, they know. I'm not saying that.
No, I don't believe that if
I'm
you're a
not saying
doctor,
that
you know what you're
doctors know
talking
what
about
they're
in any
talking
way.
about,
And
but
I'll
I
happily
just
say
do-
that.
I just think that, there are, like every profession, good uns and bad uns.
Look, if you want to be a
And,
general practitioner, then go ahead. You're going to be generalised in everything. That's fine. We need you. Great. I'm really glad you're doing your job. I'll do it. I just don't really want to sit and I want to specialise in something. That would be my kind of thing, okay? But every time I've gone to the fucking doctor, and I'm really sorry if you're listening to this and you're a doctor and you actually value... Well, I'm not
You're
sorry,
right,
actually.
yeah.
All they've done is, okay, so what are the symptoms of that? Okay, so let me just get the book out and search up the medicine that I'm going to give you. And I'm sat there going, surely
Did they
you
really
should
do
fucking
that?
know. Yeah. The last doctor appointment I went to, she got the book out and she's like, can't find what the medication's called again.
Really?
And I was like, okay, that's a bit worrying that you don't know what you're prescribing me.
Yeah,
You have
but
to
we-
actually look it up.
Yeah, that's, I don't know.
But
I've
then
never experienced that.
but like you can know all the muscles and joints and tendons inside of a body, the functioning organs, what the gut-brain axis is going to do, and how your body's. You can know all of that in our jobs, for example. But yeah, as a doctor, you're searching out. Like, surely your whole thing is prescribing medication as a GP, or like helping people generally practice medicine. It's not like. Don't get me wrong, like there's plenty of doctors, but like I don't believe that every gynecologist is an expert in hormones in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Like
true.
and I've seen this with clients are like, oh, I've been to a gynecologist. They're thinking they don't think I need to go on HRT at all. In fact, and I'm like, have they done a blood test? Have they spoken to you about what even a hormone level is in your body? Like how hormones work in your body? Or have they just done a smear test or like opened up the flaps? I don't know, like, or fertility treatment. Everything's always pumped on fertility for women, but it's never pumped on actually just optimal hormone health. Like, it's always like if I go to the doctor right now and I want to get my bloods done for hormones, it's for fertility. Unless I specify, like, I want this hormone taken,
Yeah, the
they will just give
actual-
me my, I don't know,
luteinizing
FSH,
and your
my,
sex hormones.
it's never like exactly what I want. Like, what if I don't want children? I just want to have optimal hormone.
just
I
wanna
don't
be
want to be
hench.
fertile. Get rid of them. Right? But
Anti-fertile.
no, fuck no. I don't think many people would wish that upon. It's like Handmaid's Tale, isn't it?
Yeah. No,
Actually, that being-
kind of.
that being
Yes,
said,
yes,
let's-
It is actually, yeah.
But no, I don't think it's the same as a professor. Do you think a professor knows how to fucking manage your life on a day-to-day basis, or what to
Shall
do
we
when you go and
bash-
obliterate
shall we
yourself over a
bash
weekend?
Zoe do one more time.
Well, that being said, I did come home today and I've been in London training clients. And as I was driving over Putney Bridge, I was just, as traffic's just horrible. And I just looked around and I saw men dressed head to toe Under Armour, do you know what I mean? A couple of them walking along, AirPods in, with a Zoe patch on their arm. And I just looked at them, I just thought, shame on
Just
you.
waiting to eat their letterbox muffin.
I just hope you've eaten your bran muffin this morning and you've processed it well to only have
Yeah.
the most generic nutrition plan
Yeah.
given to you, and for you to also eat some vegetables, which I'm
Lots
really
of
glad it cost you
vegan.
£299 to be told to eat vegetables. Like,
I think the whole course is about $600, and he pushes you to go plant-based.
oh
which
no, one
is-
of my clients bought into it. This was like a year ago when she was like, oh, it's fascinating. He was the one that did all the COVID thing. Oh, mixing
Do you
COVID
not
with
think
nutrition.
yeah,
That
do you
sounds
not
like a
thi-
good
yeah,
combo.
That's the thing, is people don't think that that's a problem, that you can just, specialize in 10 different things.
Yeah, I know you can't. Like, if you're a professor in something, please stick at that and be good at it. You can't then go and step into the realms. But guess what? Our industry makes shit tons of money. So,
I've
and
seen
nutrition
a
is
lot of pushback
proliferated.
on him and Zoe, especially from the personalized nutrition standpoint, from evidence-based practitioners.
Yeah, but it doesn't stand for much when you've got like so many influences. You've got like Davina McCall telling her how amazing it was for menopause for all of the midlife people.
after she
You've got
got
Stephen
paid
Bartlett, who
$2.50.
supposedly drinks a fucking Huel drink once in the morning. Lol, okay, mate. Do you know what I mean? You've supposedly got millions of pounds. I'd be having a personalised chef, not a Huel fucking bottle.
I was just so busy that I just
Was so busy podcasting people that I just like needed to have a drink to sponsor and make
and
fucking
then he
millions.
goes on Dragon's Den and has the audacity to sit and criticize the other dragons and said, you are not a social media expert, you don't understand the realm of this. I am the expert, so you need to listen to me. Why doesn't he take that when it comes to health and nutrition, where Stephen Bartlett kind of feels like he knows what he's talking about, when in reality, it's just cringe.
The same goes for everything. Like, I saw randomly, like, even the words calorie deficit are obliterated. And I don't agree with the words calorie deficit either, to be quite fucking honest with you. I try and avoid using that word to the much of my abilities.
It's the terminology that was coined in, like, I don't know,
the problem
the
is, do you know what the
1900s.
No, but the problem is calorie deficit has now been picked up upon by so many people, celebrities, influencers, practitioners, fucking everybody is on the calorie deficit. But they don't actually understand what it is. Do you know what I mean? They just say, I'm in a calorie deficit. In fact, I saw that dumb idiot. What's that? I shouldn't say that. Oh, but she is. Katie Price, you know, she said, she put a TikTok up. I don't follow TikTok, but I saw it on the news. It was like Katie Price under eating. I was like, oh God, they found something on her. Anyway, she'd put that this is why I eat in a calorie deficit. And she was eating, she said, I eat 700 calories a day. Technically, that is a calorie deficit.
Yeah, that is a calorie
but where are the
deficit.
barriers with this, where people are going in and like people are downloading people's apps and being put into like mass calorie deficits? Like I'm talking 750 calories, 800 calories a day, a deficit. And then people are like, oh, but I'm in a calorie deficit. And then when it doesn't work, because you go off the rails because it's unsustainable, calorie deficit doesn't work. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just wish there was just protocols in the world. The same as, I was reading the news on that, we were talking about this moment, the most horrific, that the woman that's about to be sentenced to, she's the most, what's the word?
Profound.
No, not
Prolific.
profound, prolific. She's, profound is not the word. Prolific serial killer in the UK. I think she tops Myra Hindley and Ian Brady for what she did.
I don't even know who those people are.
You actually have no idea who Myra Hindley and Ian Brady?
Ian Brady.
Like were the people that literally like killed like mass amounts of children, put them dug up and put them in the moorlands.
What is wrong with you British people? Weirdos.
That was years ago. Like Myra Hindley's, Ian Brady's died in prison. It's that years ago.
Ladies strangling babies, Jimmy Savile. Come on. What's wrong
Those
with
strangling
you guys?
babies. You haven't even looked at the story until you give your opinion and listen to what I was saying. It's horrific what they did. Imagine trying to have a child and you've spent, like, even just not even trying to have it, giving birth to a child who might be very unfortunately either premature or have number complications or comes full term of a baby and is put in the hands of a complete sadistic murderer who pumps air, insulin, milk into these like 1 pound babies and then murders them in front of literally the parents. Like the parents are probably normally in the other room or in a hospital waiting to try and then you send, not only did you write to colleagues saying how desperately sad it was, you then sent letters to the family after their funerals of these babies saying how deeply sorry you were, and you carried on killing. And this girl looks like, as I said to you, she looks like a girl that would have played netball at school.
Yeah,
like, literally, like,
if that was your nurse, you'd have you would.
And this is the one.
Your alarm bells wouldn't be going on.
The fact she turned to bed when mums had an instinct, they had a real instinct that something was not right, you know what I mean? And she turned around and said, trust me, I'm a nurse.
That has to be one of the very few women ever that has been a serial killer to a certain degree.
Yeah, she's only the fourth in I don't know if it's UK history, because
No,
Rose West,
the whole world, honestly, because women,
like the Wests were murdered. She was done for like stabbing 3 men. I don't think it was women.
Yeah, but I get, I did.
It was babies, girls. I mean, like baby. It's just sadistic. It's just in so many disgusting ways. Anyway, I saw somebody justifying it.
She's gonna get
killed in prison. I hope so. Or she should just kill herself.
Yeah.
Somebody should pump air into her fucking and see how she gets on. Like the reality is that this is when I guess the death sentence should be brought in, because the amount of people, like there's only 7 that I think she's being found guilty of, but there's multiple others that I think they still haven't. And you know the sickening thing is not only this, like, I don't know, maybe it's because I'm not a parent. But why the fuck did you support your child the whole way through that trial, knowing that she'd done such horrific things? You turned up at court.
Who did that?
The parents, every single day of the trial, turned up. I mean,
Not a good
even the mum, when she got arrested, said, "Take me, I'm the one that did it." What did you do, Sandra? Do you know what I mean? What did you fucking do? That's fucking weird.
Red flag.
She used to write, the girl was like 30, supposedly, I mean, this is also news, but supposedly she had a like for a male married doctor who was working in a similar war, and she knew that if anything went wrong with the babies, that he would be the one to call on, so she'd be able to spend more time with him, which is even more fucking sadistic. But she wrote letters I'm evil, I've done this, but she still to this day hasn't admitted it. She's just
needs
written.
to get, hopefully she gets psychologically evaluated, because
Psychologically fucking electrocuted. Just go away.
Yeah,
like
I mean-
people don't believe. Like, why should we as taxpayers or anybody taxpayers be paying for those people to be in prison? I'm sorry. How about you put them in an incubator with no air, just like what you fucking did to all of the babies, or you just pump yourself and just leave them there? I'm sorry, is that too... Because I've seen people justify this online.
Justify what?
Oh, you can't, you shouldn't
Justify
ever,
what?
you shouldn't ever think, they could be dealing with huge mental problems. Yeah, it's quite obvious they've got mental fucking problems and sadistic ones, and more like not mental, evil.
So just because they're psychologically unhinged, we should just, we should feel sorry for them, essentially.
Like... No,
it's all fun and games
I feel like
until
there's
it happens to
certain
you.
people.
But the person that says that, but we should, she might have been, abused when she was growing up.
But she wasn't. Suppose there's nothing that comes out.
But what happens if that person was a nurse that then, pulled the plug on your granny? Do you know what I mean? Or did that to your baby? Then you wouldn't necessarily be saying that, would you? You wouldn't be finding the compassion to complain about it all the time.
Well, I don't know. I just think I don't know, it comes to the point where...
That is absolutely just unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable to think that a person would be capable of doing that to especially babies.
Oh no, it's sick. And the fact that you actually hung around and you've done all of these things,
so
you continued to do it.
They were so twisted.
And I mean, I feel for the families that have to go through it, because I know there's a couple of the children that were really severely brain damaged by what she did, but they stayed alive. They effectively were still alive, but they're technically unable to walk and talk because of what she did to them when they were babies. Yeah. And I just think that's... Imagine there was one family that paid huge amounts of money to go abroad to get IVF because it was their last chance of having a baby, and that was the baby that she murdered. It's sickening. But she is allowed to, and I know this is government rule, do you know what I mean? But why on earth it is? Because she is allowed to not turn up to sentencing today.
They might be scared for her safety.
Why the fuck are we scared for her safety? What, she gets killed by somebody?
People,
wow.
Yeah, the amount of people that...
They're not allowed into court with shit like that, especially in the UK.
Sure.
You have to actually
there was that very famous one of that guy who shot somebody. His friend molested his daughter, and then he shot him point blank on television.
Yeah, well, I'm not surprised. Do you know what I mean? But we should be justifying that they shouldn't die. Do you think that, again, that people should be paying for these people to sit in jail? No, I hope you're fucking miserable.
I don't.
The fact is that if I'm speak from complete hindsight, but I'm sure the people whose babies were so disgustingly murdered, do you know what I mean, by this woman, would have wanted to face her and just let her...
Of course.
You can't close your ears. You might not be able to look at somebody, do you know what I mean? But you can't close your ears to just tell her what the fuck that she's done on repeat. Would be enough to put somebody into a mental fuckery, and then she should just deal with herself as she should best, or somebody in prison should just kill her. I'm sorry.
I feel like
prison should be a place for time for...
In a very secluded and safe place where nobody will
I don't agree with necessarily the death sentence, especially in places like the US, where I think there's a lot of people in the death penalty who actually haven't committed the crime that they have, and proven. It's all very America's...
The vast majority of it is racially
it's absolutely horrific, the American system, and and so I'm not saying that we should bring back the death penalty. I think that is, but I think if you're proven guilty.
Do you know what I mean? I think there just isn't enough, resources for everybody going around, and unfortunately you had your chance, you fucked up, and
I just think that prison should be a time where somebody's taken away from people to think about what they've done, or not, just plot loads of other things, do you know what I mean? But not, like, I think if you're a murderer, if you, like, literally have murdered something, depending on the context...
It depends on the circumstances, because you could have murdered your abusive husband, you've just had enough, and you've just, chopped him with an axe whilst he's sleeping.
No, most of the time women would have, like, just stabbed their husbands in the kitchen or something.
Poisoned them or something, do you know what I mean? So, like that, to me, if there's circumstances like that, then...
No, 100%. I'm not for... I'm saying murder... Like, if you've gone out and you're a serial killer...
Yeah, I don't...
Like, at what point should you be alive? Like, you're never going to be mentally okay to be out on the street, so why are we paying for you to be in...
You're just going on a life sentence where you've got no chance of getting out until, there's no chance. So why should the taxpayers' money spend their money on keeping you alive?
No, just buy.
All you got to do is...
Or just go off to fucking Guantanamo Bay and just fucking go and do some digging somewhere.
Yeah, 3 meals a day. You can read some books.
If anything, it actually gives people the time to be like, I've really converted myself with Jesus.
Yeah, it's just a bit boring. Yeah.
So I'm really for, like, those that have maybe gone in for, I don't know, like burglary or like stuff like that, like drug dealing, like whatever. Do you know what I mean? We're all trying to make a living here, but look. When it gets aggressive, or there's murders, or there's violence, or evil is different. I think if you can literally tell that somebody is genuinely evil, they shouldn't be alive. Like, what? Unless you're going to put them in a scientific study where you put like a cap on them, and like
maybe that's probably one of the.
I don't know.
They have done that, haven't they? Where they psychologically evaluate these people to understand their psychological behavior.
Yeah, but I'd just like to think that maybe we shouldn't do that, so we don't entice any more people.
I'm a bit fascinated just because it's so out of a character of a woman to do something like that. Do you know what I mean? And to be quite, like, for you to be a nurse, you need to be quite intelligent. It's not like a job where you can just walk off the street. You need to have qualifications. You need to be, intelligent.
Yes, you do need to. Well.
So, like, what was the breaking point?
I don't know what the step in.
Urge? What is the urge? And then she must have enjoyed doing it. So then, like.
Yeah, apparently she used to get it would be like a thrill but. I mean, she's never come, like, I'm sure it will come out more as to, like, because I don't think she's actually opened her mouth since literally saying, like, or writing that she, like, I'm evil, I did this, that was it. And so, I mean, as the family's sitting in court probably today when she's about to be sentenced, like, I would want nothing more.
Her parents?
No, they're not going to the sentencing because they've just realised.
It's just the parents of the...
But you know what? At first, you're like, why would somebody do that? Because... And then you're like, maybe she had horrific miscarriages, maybe she was envious of people having children. Like, there was all these things where you're like, maybe. And then you start to look into it and you think, I don't think there's any excuse for that. She went to, like, it was all came out in the news that she went to, like, her friend and also colleague's hen party, like the weekend before she decided just to murder, like, a baby in hospital. Like, it's all these things where you just think, like, as I said, like, so many people have said the same thing. It's just like all of these people look really, but it's a level of authority that's abused. It's like the fact, trust me, I'm a nurse. Do you know what I mean? Abused. Do you know what I mean? The same as, trust me, I'm a police officer. Whilst I murder you, can you get in the car? Abuse of authority. And,
It's just that our automatic assumption is those people within those roles are completely and utterly competent and of sane judgment.
And I don't think there's any nurse in the UK that's ever done that. Like, you know what I mean? Nurses are people that have had a genuine interest in helping people. You know what I mean? They say, they're not, especially especially for female. Like, you know what I mean? I know men tend to have...
I think it's more shocking that it's a woman than it is a man.
I think that's why she managed to get away with it for so long. I honestly believe that.
Do you think I don't know.
If you look at
a sadistic man would be capable of killing loads of small children?
Well, fully capable, yes. As a male nurse, maybe. I think men statistically, don't they have, like, well, you've got a higher percentage.
I think
chance.
They're more into, like, that doctor who used to, like, put women out and then stick his dick in their mouth when they were anaesthetised.
I wouldn't put it past people to, like, cut them open and, like, insert, do
and there
weird.
Was someone took a video and he did it to like over 120 women. It's just like he used to dip his
Oh,
like whilst they were passed
God.
out. It's in
Do you
Brazil.
know
I
what-
think it was in Brazil.
yeah, well,
I mean,
that was probably something like trafficking
go
organs
get
or
your
something.
BB. What is it?
BBL,
Yeah, your BBL.
no, BBL, Brazilian bum lift, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh God, that is the worst operation going around right now. You know what's also
Is that just fat in your arse?
yeah, but it's fat that normally, which is actually
So where do
really.
they get the fat from?
Well, you know when you take the fat out of your body, it's like still injecting a foreign object, no matter whether or not it's in your yours or not. They effectively take normally abdominal fat or like upper thigh fat, and they inject it out, and they'll inject it back into your ass, or it's like filler, like it's like it's.
Filler.
It's like a variation of filler because it's like long goes the days where there's actual implants. Now, like it's like like people don't stick an implant in because you can legitimately see like the outset of an implant, like boobs. Do you know what I mean? Like you could vaguely see that they're fucking upright. The same with. There's nothing wrong with upright tits. Do you know what I mean? We all need them. There's no benefit them to having them down your hips. Do you know what I mean? There really isn't. Might as well just get rid of them, if anything. But again, there's this whole thing since the Barbie movie that's come out.
We should go and watch it. I want to go and see it.
I'm not going to go into the cinema after
Apparently
you
it's
took me to
very,
Oppenheimer.
It's very original and entertaining.
Okay, are you just listening to reviews, or are you making your own assumptions here?
I'm listening to
Reviews, exactly. So I'm sure you'd really love to watch Barbie, Mark. I'm sure it's one of the films that you've been pumped to see.
No, just apparently it's got a original storyline. So.
Yeah, okay, but is it any like better than Oppenheimer, where we both fell asleep in it?
Dead.
I honestly,
the deadest movie.
I was so disappointed because I love him in Peaky Blinders.
Yeah,
He's
but
like my
even the end
ultimate
of
Thomas
Peaky
Shelby.
Blinders, he's just gone from one disappointment to another. Because the ending of Peaky Blinders was so disappointing.
Yeah, but it's because what was her name? The one that I absolutely love passed away.
The mum.
The mum. Oh my God, what's her name in real life? It's going to annoy me. Anyway, I think it was because she passed away, and I think it all became. She was quite quiet about her cancer situation. I think she passed away, and people were like, "I think we need to end this series like now."
That's a very good assumption because it seemed very rushed. They could have played the story out way better than what they did.
This is how obnoxious you sound. You know what? Somebody's going to just
built
died from cancer, and I just wish they could have just like at least made the fucking last episode.
No. But like they had the guy from America who was supposedly meant to be doing bits and all of a sudden, just in one episode or half an episode, it was over.
I think hands down, Peaky Blinders and Prison Break are like the ultimate series. Like
Peaky Blinders was when the mob came, and then that's when one of the brothers got shot, and him and the Italian mob were going backwards and forwards.
Okay, if people haven't watched this, nobody knows what you're talking about.
If you haven't watched Peaky Blinders, it's been like 10 years. Come on.
Okay, maybe people don't have time, do you know what I mean?
Sure,
too busy being obnoxious.
Too busy on the grind.
But that being said, we got, baby Botox. This is a new thing Barbie Botox. Like, I'm all for whatever the fuck you want to do. Just keep it.
What's Barbie Botox?
Oh, why don't you let me speak and then we'll get it out.
Okay.
Not that you've not let me speak the whole of the podcast. Technically, it's Botox for your upper traps, which means it smooths it. I know, crazy. So it relaxes the muscles, so then you have this sleek, long, elongated neck. Yeah, awful.
How about just
and people I've seen having done
rotated chests because you're
one of my old clients was having it done the other day.
Okay, wonderful.
Yeah,
External rotation at the pectoral because your pectoral muscles are, and your scapulas are winged and completely out of we're just going to inject your traps with Botox.
I think that particular client wouldn't even know what scapula is. She probably thought it was like a new Fendi handbag.
It's just hilarious that people would just assume that injecting your traps with Botox would give you a long neck. Like, how ridiculous.
Well, it relaxes it, and people are like, I just feel so elongated, and it's a whole trend that's going on right now.
But your scapula is jutting out the back of your jumper. You can flap yourself across Southwest
As I
London.
said, these people like genuinely don't even know what a scapula is. They probably think it's a new handbag brand.
Get it. Yeah, exactly.
Like, do you know what I mean? Oh, have you heard of your hamstring? Have you heard of hamstring? Oh my God, yeah,
my
hamstring,
God.
new leather
I think
goods.
Kylie Jenner was wearing
Yeah,
it.
so I think hamstring is what Kylie Jenner's got the top of. Like, trust me, like literally, I just
I
fucking know.
I get it, but I'm also just like I understand.
Yeah, hideous though. What is the world coming to? But I think it's one of these things. The same as like
it's minimal buy-in. It just requires you to go there, lie down, get injected, pat you on the back, off you go.
look, I'm not going to say anything. I think baby Botox,
No,
whatever the
but-
fuck you want to do it. But just don't go and encourage
No,
other
but
people
Botox
to
in
do
your
it.
face is different in the sense that you are eliminating movement, which creates contouring and texture in your face, which then turns into lines and so on. Which I fully appreciate that.
Do you appreciate you've got enough lines? Do you
Yeah, I've
appreciate
got loads
it?
of lines. But like injecting your traps, like how, like just
Yeah, look,
can
but it's the same as injecting your
someone
jaw when you've got, like,
explain-
when you eat your jaw, like when you.
I know, but your trap is such a massive muscle. Like, how is one small, you're talking about of a 28 gauge insulin needle. How is that going to have any impact on your posture?
No, it's not. It's just going to be temporary, just like
Placebo.
freezing something. It's the same as getting like a
okay. No, I
cortisol
get it, I get
injection.
it, but like, honestly.
Cortisol
ladies,
injection did what for you, Mark? Nothing.
Made it worse.
Yeah. It's,
Why?
a cortisol injection
'Cause
legitimately.
my posture and my anterior pelvic tilt was horrific. So I had cortisone injections in my shoulder, and guess what? Didn't do anything, because my scapula and my arms were.
We'll call a new
like
shoe
a
brand
noodle.
APT. Do you know what I mean?
No, I need to qualify in Botox so I can go around injecting women in arbitrary places and saying that it's going to work.
You sound like that man that fucking videoed women whilst he stuck his dick in them on a
No,
surgery
be like,
table.
I'll give you a Botox injection in your calf because it will make you taller. I don't know. That's as dumb as injecting your traps, honestly. Like, I'll inject your bicep to...
I mean, yeah, I
Yeah,
mean,
do you know what I
but
mean? Like-
that being said, that there are a lot of people, like our neighbour said to us the other day, oh, I've had my Botox done. She's like, you should definitely use this girl. And I was like, okay, like, obviously, like, what, just, oh, who is she? Do you know what I mean? Oh, she's a gypsy. Do you know what I mean? I've got nothing against gypsies, whatever. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like,
especially after watching the Tyson Fury's wife.
fuck, Mark. Tyson Fury's wife is a
She
godsend,
deserves-
literally.
She deserves a medal.
She deserves a medal, yeah. And you know what? I am not against the traveller lifestyle as long as it just. I've got no opinion over it. Keep doing you. Do you
I
know
would
what I mean?
rather be friends with gypsies than against gypsies, put it that way.
Yeah, I'd rather be friends with gypsies rather than like. I don't know.
They're a very fascinating subculture, especially I never knew gypsy. I didn't even know gypsies existed until I moved to the UK.
Yeah, but you've got different types, haven't you? Because you've got like the ones that come that are
Your
like
traditional like English
Irish traveller,
travellers,
yeah.
You know.
I don't think. Yeah, like
So
Irish
weird,
travellers.
It's not a weird, but it's like their morals and values are placed very strategically in certain areas.
Yeah, it
which
is
I
a bit
quite
weird
like.
actually. The
I
morals
quite-
of it. I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, it's some of it seems completely contradictory, and then some of it seems very like.
Like, we won't
morally
lie,
correct.
like there are like majority of the drug trade, gangster mob, like there is a lot of tie-in with travellers. Like they're like some of the most wanted men in the world, like by FBI and like CIA and all of these people, because they are and always
They've got
are
a
in
purp-
business.
yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
yeah,
They
but they
always
also-
find their way, like horse racing, gambling.
Yeah.
Drugs,
Boxing,
like
street
boxing, street fighting, yeah. But anyway, like I don't think we can really compare. Like, I think the Tyson Fury thing, like, actually was just quite it's a bit of a reality TV show, isn't it? I thought Paris Fury came across amazing.
Yeah,
I think
she
they all
did,
did. I think their kids did as well. Like compared to the fact
Yeah.
that like I thought the kids would maybe not come across like that. But no, I mean. I think she anyway.
I think if you have 6 kids, you're guaranteed chaos.
I think she's got 7 now since then.
Yeah, you're guaranteed chaos. I don't think it's like it would be like herding cats. You can't. You're not going to get all of them sat down, disciplined. Super quiet.
But then again, like they
They're
seem to
just
have
gonna
like quite a
be-
good like ongoings, and because I think Paris Fury like she like does everything. She's like the mum of the house, does all the washing. She does it.
Yeah,
She doesn't
she
want to.
takes on a
She
lot
doesn't
of
want to spoil
responsibility.
them. Like she, even though they've got shit tons of money, the Furies, like it's really obvious that she's very down to earth in the way that, things that they could have and enjoy. But like she's like adamant that doesn't teach their children everything if they get it, which I think is quite nice to see, seeing as like a reality TV show like that with the Kardashians would be like Kylie Jenner getting like a Bugatti at age like fucking 16 for passing her driving test,
Yeah, very different levels.
But no, anyway, so and she said to me, I paid £90 for 3 areas of Botox. I was like, are you are you sure that's legal? Like literally, because I was like, because if I'm not mistaken, like, and she came to the house to do it, I was like, if you like have Botox, like Botox is really like the actual Botox is really hard to like access anywhere. That's why you have to
you
be
need a
like a
prescription.
aesthetics like nurse or
a doctor.
doctor or to be able to actually get the prescription for it. And I was like, that must have been like either fallen off the back of a truck. To charge £90 3 areas, to put into context, one area would probably usually be about 150.
Yeah, it's very
Like anyway, I was like, are you absolutely certain you know what she's just injected? Well, she's got like bruises all over her forehead.
Cement.
Like literally, probably cement. Anyway, each their own.
I would imagine that it would be very easy to obtain Botox on the black market, or
I would not
or
want
a
to put that into
generic-
my face
or
though.
a generic variation of Botox, because Botox
Like a
is just
watered,
brand,
like-
isn't it?
There was, it is just a brand. I think there's a couple of brands. There's like, but I think you can tell, like, you can definitely tell when you've been injected with Botox versus like, I don't know,
I'd
like a
love to
shit.
have been the person to invent Botox.
Well, I don't even know. Maybe it was I don't know if it was somebody that was actually like somebody invented Botox. Because
I
if
think
they
we
are,
watched,
Jesus
we
Christ.
watched a program on the person that invented Botox.
Did we?
I think so.
No, I don't think that's correct because
Oh no, it was the pharma company that created Botox was caught by the SEC fudging their books, and it was a program on corporate greed where a woman who was in a hedge fund did due diligence on the company and then shorted it, so that
that's
got it
interesting.
to
I don't know what you're talking about. Can you end it?
something. It's quite boring. It just doesn't really.
You're like that. Okay, I'm bored of myself
Yeah,
now.
halfway through the sentence, I was like, I'm over
I
it.
do think it's about time that like just everywhere that there's more repercussions for people's actions, whether that's like a comment from people murdering somebody, doing something that's upset somebody, telling your friend they're a bitch. I don't know, all these things. I just think there's not enough repercussions in the world. Like, I just think that like the worst, like, or the very select few actually get like what's the word? Is it persecuted? Like
Persecuted,
like to actually be like, I don't know. It's the same with social media hate, like telling somebody to like kill themselves or like.
Well, did you see that for you to have a verified account on Twitter, you need to now send photographic evidence of your face?
Yeah, it's the same as on Instagram now. If you want to be like meta verified or have any kind of doing like you,
Which is a step closer, I think. Because if everybody has
I don't know.
their faces, I mean, there's arguments for and against, and I'm sure everyone's got their own unique circumstances. But generally, if you think of the vast majority, if you had a face, you could put a face to the name, then people going out of their way and telling people to go and kill themselves on social media would probably die down a little bit.
Yeah, I just like.
Because then you
I
could
just think
report
there's
them
people-
and they'd be like, oh, we actually know who this person is.
Well, do you honestly think, like, I think, yeah, okay, cool. When you go and contact customer service at Instagram and you get an AI robot replying to you, hello, is any of this related to your, and you know what I mean? And I don't think,
But it's only a matter of time until that AI robot is so sufficient at customer service that it will actually be really good.
yeah, I'm dealing with them at the moment. Like when I was dealing with stuff the other day for something, I was like, I know this is not fucking human, but
Yeah.
you sound like a fucking human. Like,
Yeah.
but it's how quickly they can pump an answer out that gives it away, to be quite honest with you.
Yeah,
I'm
of
like,
course.
nobody that can type that quickly. Even if you had learnt shorthand at fucking business school or like touch typing. But no, I do think it's a bit worrying though, that I just don't know. I don't like. It's really weird. Running an online business is something like luckily.
Do you want to know something really scary?
I don't know. Do you want to talk up? Because you sound like you're mumbling.
2015 was almost 10 years ago.
It's not 10 years ago though. It was 8. So why are we fucking talking in hindsight?
I'm just saying it's really quite startling that 2015 was almost 10 years ago.
Yeah, well, thank you for that really insightful mathematical equation that you've just worked out.
It feels like it was just a few days ago, to be honest.
Does it?
Yeah, kind of.
Kind of? You can't even remember what you did last week.
2015 was when we met.
Was it?
Yeah, 8 years ago.
Oh, God. Anyway. Oh, how much has changed. You still irritate me on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, good.
Mark's still putting things in the dishwasher that don't go in the dishwasher.
Yep.
And yeah.
And I'm still washing things that I shouldn't be washing, ruining all George's nice things. You know, it's a tiresome battle, but I manage to keep it up every single day.
It's a tiresome battle being irritating, is it?
I know. I've really got to go out of my way to irritate you sometimes, but it needs to be done.
Yeah, I just put that on top of just like having to do it. But I mean, I guess like going back to like social, it's lucky that we don't have to deal with like hundreds and like thousands of people in the sense of an actual direct business. Like our business is more premium on the element that we only deal with like a bespoke amount of clients that like need to be paved through, and obviously our client retention is really quite high. So it's one of those things where luckily, because I'll be honest, I think the online world, I fucking hate it. I'm sorry. I really do. Like I'm drained by it at the moment. I'm
online
so
coaching,
drained.
I just don't necessarily like online acquisition of, when people finish their training programs and we shake hands and go different ways, we obviously need to bring in new people.
We don't finish a training program, Mark.
You know what
Fuck
I mean.
me, we only give somebody a training program. We literally change their life.
Okay, sorry, I'm sorry for using that exact words. You know.
Yes, you should be, because you sound
Once
like
we've given them a body transformation, then the acquisition of people online is what I've struggled with. I quite like the online, like in terms of online coaching, like you can do a more effective a job to a certain degree than personal training in some aspects.
Yeah, but I don't really classify myself as, I'm not a personal trainer. Do you know what I mean? But that's the reality.
If you had to compare those two or any other type of,
I mean, the reality is that, like, having, I think we would quite like we've obviously got ideas and like potential things that could potentially happen in the next few years, to develop something that's more like in person. But again, I'll never be opening up a gym, like, ever. I've got no interest in that. I've got no interest in being a PT, because I'm not a PT. I literally do far more than that for so many people and are qualified to do so. So ours would always be like a lifestyle clinic if it was going to open. But I do think like the online thing, I do get drained by. We get most drained by the people that don't buy from us. There's the honesty. We do. We get endless amounts of
full of honesty for you today.
I'm sorry, but like not everybody. Like I, the end of the day, I'm a professional in what my job is. I don't feel like I should be pushed, even though I am a coach. I should be still known the same as you for what we know and how we help people, rather than what the fuck I'm doing on my day-to-day life. That's the bit that drains me the most. I just don't feel the need, I don't feel obligated, and I just don't fucking want to share my whole life with people. I have nothing I want to say. It's all fucking fake. If somebody can pump out on a day-to-day basis, I'm talking like consistently, that's not just the same thing, like it's all fucking a load of bullshit, because there's no way that like life can change that dramatically on a day-to-day basis or things. And it's just like this dire need for like excess content, excess product. And it's so draining, you know, you just think, fuck, I just want to do my job. Do you know what I mean? And half of this you feel like, is this your job? Oh wait, it now is.
No, no, I know. It's one of those things where you gotta, it's a give and a take, isn't it?
People are so fascinated. The other day somebody asked us a question about like, how do you lose like 70 kilos in weight? And like, we put our opinion in the sense of like, a professional one, and then we put like a personal opinion coming from like experience, was based off of my own journey. And like, it was actually insane how many people first of all didn't know.
It's tangible though, isn't it?
No, but people that didn't know, do you know what I mean, that I'd done that. And second of all, how many people were like just so amazed. And I was like, I could, and I have always been able to, and I've been given multiple opportunities to do this, sell myself as a business, do you know what I mean? That's legitimately, I've been offered a lot of money to do so as well. I just have no dire need. Like, just because it worked for me, it does not mean it's going to work for you, because what I had to go through was a lot, do you know what I mean? A huge amount. And I think we've also, there's definitely, just the same as I'm never going to be like a mathematical whiz and be able to look and manage stocks and fucking be an investment banker or any of that hedge fund thing. I'm not good at that. Do you know what I mean? The same as I'm not good at fucking plumbing or electrics or whatever. I just feel like I don't need to like only be, I don't know. It just comes across like it's a very generic way of like selling yourself. Do you know what I mean? Like, a lot of these people in businesses who are themselves fall foot at some point, because they either have to carry on being the influencer for themselves, do you know what I mean? Or like they are the brand, and then there's like no ability to like ever step away or ever be valued the same without it. And like, because like I'm not a whiz at maths and somebody else is, the same with like losing weight, the same with like transforming your body, the same as all of that. Sometimes you're just not going to be successful. And I'm not very successful in some things in my life. Do you know what I mean? The same as you're probably not very successful in some things in your life. Sure. We're very successful in some elements, but we're not successful all fucking round, you know? And I think it's just, sometimes when people say, how did you do this? I'm like, well, fuck, I mean, it's my life. Do you know what I mean? Not only did I transition it to be my complete and utter life, like, sometimes people are not going to have the same motivation, the same driving factors, the same will, the same fucking ability as you have, and vice versa. They probably have more to offer on certain elements than what I can, you know? And I do think sometimes we look at success rates of people and we're like, oh, that can be us. And I just think, no, it can't. Sorry, no, it can't.
Yeah, like, but that's a realistic way of looking at it.
Because like, we can't all be super successful, fucking loaded, swanning around.
Otherwise, we all would be, though, wouldn't we?
Like, how many people do you think are trying to be influencers and struggling? Do you know what I mean? But yet they watch and like admire those that make like millions and like have done it. It's like, yeah, because they're literally the 0.01% that are successful. That doesn't mean that like you can also mimic that. But it is exhausting.
But I
like,
guess
you know, having to be,
though, don't you?
To be like a personality. Like, I struggle with it, even with our work one. I'm just drained. Like, not interested. Do you know what I mean? I'm just interested in like, how can we help you? Do you know what I mean? That's literally it.
Yeah, but I guess, and I appreciate, and I agree with you 100%. And I guess
people buy people, but
the draining part is the consistent requirement to just consistently market your business on a consistent basis.
Yeah, it's something that just like, but that's done in so many different ways. Like, that could be like, you know, there's so many ways to marketing. It could be like content, or it could be social proof, or it could be an email, or it could be just being there, or it could be just answering somebody's question. Or
the thing is, like, if you could let me put a question to you. If you could obtain your clients elsewhere that's not social media, would you even use social media?
No, I said this the other day. If social media was deleted, I wouldn't miss anybody. Nobody. None.
No, but I'm saying if you're not going to obtain clients using it, then would you utilize it for personal use or business use, just out of the sheer
personal use, like, but not like when I was like on holiday. hello everyone, here's me. Do you know what I mean? Not like on a day-to-day basis, no.
Why do people feel the urge to post pictures on holiday and not every single day when they're...
Because it's the time they've made memories, and let's be honest, real life doesn't really have that many memories, does it? It just have to just monotony of doing the same thing every day.
That is real life.
I don't need to highlight me doing the same thing every day because it will make me go mentally insane.
It's like people never post, and then all of a sudden, holiday.
No, like probably recent photos. Me on my birthday, me with my dad, do you know what I mean? Me with my grandma, me with, you know what I mean? Like, that's not for anybody to like be like, oh my God, wow, Georgia. It's just my memories. It's just like, in fact, anything, if you look to my social media, be like, she looks really happy. Fuck off. Like, literally, I do look like a really like positive... Today I'm just being pessimistic, but no, I don't feel the need to show my life to people. I never have. I've always utilised social media. My sister's always been an influence. She's always dated people of some relevance, of some degree. I think that's probably where I was first brought into it, to be quite honest with you. And then obviously, yeah, like you went through phases of posting a nice beach picture or lunch, do you know what I mean? A thirst trap, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
get all the
boys.
DMs, having a wank, yeah. And then... you know, that was about it. But I don't see the need. Like, you know, we have to post content probably on our page a minimum about 4 times a week, sometimes more. Like, yeah, it's just getting attention, isn't it? That's all it does. Is it just stimulates the brain for people to not forget you. Like, and as a business, that just has to run, you know. Yep. But do I think that with a personalized coaching business, that like our kind of business is something that people jump on within a second? No. You need to understand who you're working with, what they have to offer, how this program's going to help you, all of these things that like you need to understand the person, because if you're investing into this, because we're not cheap, we're not a cheap buy-in, like, you know, if you're going to invest into your health in some way or another, it's the same as you going to a BBL lift, you know, do your fucking research, do you know what I mean? And understand whether this person's right for you. Don't go off whether they've got a great personality or not. Go off of whether this person can help you, you know? And yes, personality does help, you know, having a good relationship with clients is perfect. But, you know, at the end of the day, like I've got a job to do. You know, my job is something that has to be achieved. Otherwise, I'm not happy. Do you know what I mean? Because there was something very interesting. We were listening to like a business mentor months ago. We listened to like a YouTube thing. He was like, anybody that says that, which is actually very interesting, anybody that says they're passionate about their job is lying. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. He was like, people work to make money. They don't work for any other reason. You can like your job and you can like the elements that you do in your job. Like I love helping people. But like, would we on a day-to-day basis be posting on social media, be doing all of this, be doing all of that, if I didn't have a business that ran? No.
Like, that's what Jamie Dimon said, that the CEO of JP Morgan, never work for a person who sees work as their top priority.
It's true though, and I'm starting to come to this point because we've run ourselves into the ground so many times in our career, like so many times, where yeah, we could be grateful for it in a way, but I actually think it's come down to a huge amount of hard work. So it's not just we swanned into the world and this came, you know, but I don't know, like I kind of agree that you shouldn't really be like, if you run yourself into the ground continually, you know, you're not going to be able, you pour from an empty cup. Do you know what I mean? You're not going to be able to do your job as effectively. And sorry, I'm sure if you asked yourself the question right now, why are you at work right now listening to this? Do you know what I mean? Or why are you listening to this whilst at work? Is it to have a bit of a fucking break from work? Is it to, you know what I mean, to realise that actually we're all working for a living? If you can make it as enjoyable, and that's why you work for yourself, and a business where you have formed that business, so you have a underlying need or want to run a business like that, that's very different. But to be like obsessed with your job where you don't ever want a fucking break, that's abnormal. I'm sorry. And I can assure you, if you're listening to this right now, you can look at your own job and you probably say exactly the same. That does not mean that you aren't fucking good at your job. You don't know what, you know, that you can literally do your job with eyes closed and you're amazing. Do you know what I mean? That's not belittling that. Just means that you've actually got a slight life aside it. And you know, to get that balance with an online job has been one of the hardest things for us, and I don't think we've even found the balance yet.
far away from it.
Yeah.
We're so
We
far
are.
away
We're
from
completely far away from it, and it needs work. Like, because we have multiple people we have to manage on a day-to-day basis, and sometimes there are days, just the same as, maybe I'll talk for myself, many of my female clients have days or weeks in the month where you just think, please, like, I just want to just go into a forest and scream. Do you know what I mean? It's the same for everybody else, and we all have problems. And do you share your problems on a day-to-day basis, or do you keep them to yourself? And that's exactly how we see our business. Why should a business highlight all the back-end scenes, the problems of this? Why? What, to go and put a load of problems onto other people? We're here to help you.
My favorite one is when somebody's app has crashed and they send like a picture of them crying. They're like, I'm sorry, the app has crashed.
I've seen so many people crying. I just think, come on, do you know what I mean? I saw a girl justify it the other day, like, you don't receive death threats, you don't think. I was like, no, I don't, because I don't post myself as vividly online as you do.
That's again, and that's also something that should be highlighted.
And also, you are also in a world, we've talked about this before with the grocery shopping that we used to do, where I used to get like people saying to me, like, that's enough food for 4 people. How much money do you fucking spend? Like, all of this. And I just thought, oh my God, you are just trying to help people with some nutritional education on what protein is, do you know what I mean, and how to get it.
Enjoyable, Karen.
Yeah, and okay, Karen, I'm so sorry, you can't afford this. But then I actually had to be like, so sorry, clearly we're in a cost of living crisis. I can't photograph my fridge.
But there was also no context. Like, we don't eat out, so if somebody would spend
don't drink alcohol, don't smoke cigarettes,
£80 on a shop,
don't have kids, it's
3 takeaways a week, which amounts to double the money, to double the cost.
No,
sometimes you can't even be asked to just provide context. You're like, shut the fuck up, and just block it, or just delete it, or just block
just delete, block, move on. I don't have energy. Why do I have energy in my business? If you're interested in our business and what we have to offer you, then you'll just enjoy it. Do you know what I mean? If you don't, just go away. And that's fine. As we've transitioned to business, people have gone away. That's perfect. You just don't fit the realms. Do you know what I mean? You don't fit the realms, and I don't need you if you don't fit the realms. What am I going to just try and... It's almost like you're 15 years old trying to breastfeed your mum. Do you know what I mean? There comes a point where the latch of the tit is not fucking happening. It's fine. Yeah. We've all moved on. No offence. It's when people like... we uploaded, which is so unlike us, but just a bit of a fucking joke. We were both doing tricep dips. No, we were doing dips on the, like a chin, like, what's it? Oh, fuck me. On a dip bar. And we thought it would be funny to just do like, which me and Mark are the opposite of, and if you actually know us, you'd fucking get it. And that's why we were like, is this fucking too much or not? We uploaded a photo where we kissed as we went down a dip, and it's because I'm strong enough to do one, and so is Mark, sorry. More than just one as well. Yeah. And somebody messaged us going, unfollow with a vomit face. Yeah. I was like, thanks so much for fucking your departure. Yeah. Like, I literally didn't even care. It looks like you've got the same relationship with your BMW in your profile, but I didn't attack you.
This is not a bus station. You don't have to announce your departure. Can you just fuck off, please?
But I really don't care. And you know what? This is all AI driven anyway. Like, how your following works. Don't think that all of these people are genuine. Yeah. Fuck me.
There's so many times that you just want to be unprofessional.
Yeah, we've learnt that though.
But you have to be courteous and compassionate.
What? Compassionate? I'm not compassionate about anything. Compassion is not the right. Courteous and quiet. Or just delete, move on and block. Or you just say no. Do you know what I mean? The same as like the other day we were in a situation with like business thing. I just said to Mark, like, what we respond is literally one sentence.
Just no.
No. Like, literally, it's no, that doesn't work. Goodbye. Yeah, like, it's not even because and this. And we've spent a lot of our time, because of the type of characters that we are, justifying shit the whole time. Like, our whole life throughout COVID was justifying why we should be paid to being professionals in our industry, or why we did certain things, and we got scrutinized for no reason, even though all we were doing was trying to help people. And I just was just like, why are we, like, if you
we always go above and beyond though. How many times have we written business plans, and we've done postural presentations for high net worth clients and gone so far and beyond, and everyone just looks at us like we are like aliens.
Well, yeah, but...
Do you know what I mean?
I mean,
We always go so far and like sit down and try and do our best, and it just never seems to. People just don't take it seriously. That's just it. Don't think I think that's the only way you can.
we've worked with clients like that as well, where I just think,
But
Jesus
only once
Christ, you've
do
only
they
got
buy
you and
in.
yourself.
But like you said, we were discussing the other day, the vast majority, if you go into a private gym or a gym that's not a chain, the chances are it is run by an individual who's being bankrolled by a client. It's like
Always.
a 99% chance.
Because just
And
like...
the only people that are going to buy and will be happily to give you money because they see the value
yeah.
and they see the benefit of it are clients that have gone through the process with you on a consistent basis.
Yeah,
for a
any
while.
money that's been like, hey, can I give you this? Do you know what I mean? It's because they're a client. And it's exactly the issue that we face in trying to sell a vision to somebody that's not like a practical tool. Like, the reality is you've not experienced it, you wouldn't understand.
It felt the same experience as when I was trying to, like, Georgia was like, please don't. But I thought better of myself, trying to explain to a commercial real estate agent in Cape Town the vision that we were trying to create. And it was like transporting back in time and showing a Neanderthal an iPhone. And like trying to show them, oh, you can, airdrop, and they're just like, what? That's how it felt. And I was getting deja vu when we were doing this whole business thing. We were like, this is what we're thinking. This is, and the
Do you know how many times I repeated myself to this guy in the eyes? I was like this, I just don't see that you understand what I'm saying. Like, and when I say that I'm pedantic, Mark has to live with it on a day-to-day basis. But when it comes to the same as what I would like, and I hope that clients that retain with us for a long would also see it, the amount of effort and refinements and, just countless on a day-to-day basis, we always try and be better. Our business has not stopped improving since we formed it. And we don't sit there and go, oh, it will just make do. Do you know what I mean? We're like, no, like, we don't like this. This is fucking annoying us. It needs to change.
No, everything needs to always
and,
be
sometimes it works in your favour. Other times it doesn't. But just trying to reiterate to people, like, the standard that I want and I envision and how much money is going to be needed to get to that position, and being to somebody like, this is our business on the fucking line if we do this. What do you not understand? Like, do I need to spell it out? Just because you've got millions in the bank doesn't mean that you're any more intelligent than what I am. I'm sorry. Like, and I've learned this a lot. Just because you have millions in the bank, it could have come from family. It could have come from a once-off business deal. It could have come from years of hard work. The reality is it doesn't put you above somebody.
You're not the professional.
And a lot of the time that's why you go into business with family, because like family invest in things. Like my dad's side of the family, like all of my cousins, my auntie, like they're all in business, and my fucking God, do they do well? Do you know what I mean? They're all in the same chain of business. They all help each other, and because of that, working together and everybody's on the same page. Don't get me wrong, I'm sure families do snake each other out on countless times.
Oh yeah, without a doubt. But I'm guessing some of the only people you can potentially trust.
When it comes to it. And so, with us, like, we're not the sort of type to be like, oh, hi, can you just like invest in an app? We don't see the value of somebody doing that for us. We see the value of ourselves creating it and paying for it and doing it because it helps our coaching clients and our coaching business. We don't see the requirements. The biggest thing that I've ever dealt with in the past couple of years has been the fact that my sister has a very large, soon to be, I don't fucking know. She started up a technically artificial intelligence. It's like Reddit combination with ChatGPT, but for women, talking about gossip sharing and stuff like that. It's very cool if that's what you're into. Quite American based, I will say, in the sense of the market. And it's doing really, really well at the moment. But she obviously, like most companies in New York or whatever, they come up with the idea, they know the people because it's all a very who knows who what, and Emma knows everybody. And they start running for capital so that it's off somebody else's bankroll, not their own, so that they can create the level of tech needed. Now, on average, a software developer, for example, gets paid sometimes between 150 to 600k a year. Okay, so then you need a team of maybe 12 of those, like as a start, you know, or maybe less.
You need a lot of money.
You need a lot of money behind you, and also to pay your salary and to pay all the rest of it. The hardest thing that I faced with my family when my sister started, my dad's a finance guy, but, you know, was my sister ran for investment and we never have. We've been offered investment by clients multiple times, you know, never felt right, never knew what the fuck this was going to do for us. Like, are we just going to open up a space? What is this? Like, we don't see the vision, so we're not going to take it. It was the fact of like, whenever there was an idea, it was like, well, you know, are you going to run for capital? Are you going to, you know, what's the investment? Who's going to invest in this? And I was like, our business is not that investable type unless you are entwined with it. You know, the same as what you say, like a client invests because they're invested in the journey. It's exactly the same as somebody how views their health. It's not an immediate thing for like a venture capitalist to come in and say, here's 2 million, 3 million, 4 million quid, because we're dealing with such a small market. They're like, okay, well, what's there to invest in here? Nothing. It's a great market for us. It's a great business for us. Is it a great business for anybody else to have a part of? No, because we do it for ourselves, because we are the coaches. That's what we do on a day-to-day basis, is coach people. That's what we love doing. And so we're never going to take ourselves to be a CEO, which is running the business, but is not the coach, because that's not what we enjoy, you know? And we've had so many arguments about this, just about whether it's right, whether it's wrong, you know. Should we be looking at franchising this? Should we be doing this? Should we be looking at getting people below us who we train up? And at the end of the day, they're taking our job away, do you know what I mean? Which we actually thoroughly enjoy. It keeps us sane as coaching people. What doesn't keep us sane is the 80% of fucking admin and all the rest that goes on with it. That's what CEOs got to deal with, you know what I mean? And so unless you've got a brand or a business that is of value to somebody else, where they're going to be able to see that vision and go, oh, actually, I could make money off of that. The reality is we are the money. Do you know what I mean? That is, you know,
that is true, yeah.
And I'm sick of people telling us that you have to be able to be successful, or to have a successful business, you need a huge amount of capital behind it, because I don't believe that. You can still have a very successful coaching business working with a set amount of people who value you on either a retaining or a program, people coming in and out, because you're creating the lifestyle that you need to live. Like, why should I make my life even more difficult? Because we've done this before, where we had a number of different trainers and this that we used to work with, and they just fucked us over the whole bloody time. And it's the same as your best mate, Damien.
Yeah, especially in this industry, it's so difficult to find people that are trustworthy, punctual.
Of the standard as well. Like, they need to be trained under us. Because I don't think that, you know, there's... And also just the etiquette in general, the etiquette of people is
your
shit.
average individual's coming out with a 6-week qualification, which is... I'm not knocking that, but for them to be able to get up to scratch with... training a client hands-on and be able to advise them on certain
No, I'd actually say more of the nutritional element.
You know,
it doesn't
and
even...
the nutritional, you'll need, you know, another, I would say, a year.
What?
Minimal.
What, if you want to become a registered nutritionist, you need to be doing at least...
saying, if you Georgia sat down with a year with a person and trying to teach them...
Oh, like me actually mentor something.
Yeah, you yourself, you would be able, in a year, I would say, you'd be able to...
Like, Kate, I'm not one for, like, dragging through, like, endless years of fucking learning. Like, I think learning is fucking needed. Yeah. What I need people to do is experience as well. Like, that's why I think, like, work experience is far more, or like an internship, far more valuable to a younger individual than going into university. Like, because at university you've had years of education pumped into you, you've got no other choice but to be in education. It comes, you get some qualifications, you probably got to the end of your tether, you've got your A levels, you're in university. Now, for some people, that's great. You're on to being a lawyer, a doctor, a fucking engineer, you know what I mean? You're on your pathway, you know you're going. But for a lot of other people, you're at your wit's end of education at that age. You're like that, fuck me, can I just go and do something else? And that's when we should be avidly encouraging from the age of 16, you know how many people spoke down at those? Oh, they've got a BTEC or they've gone and done an internship. What a shame they're not going to university. Okay, how about they're earning more money than you are at the age of fucking 40, at age 22? They've got all of their qualifications, they've learned on the job, and now they're running their own fucking business. What's wrong with that? They haven't even come out of university.
Yeah, I think that university narrative is starting to show cracks.
Massively, because the amount of debt you come out with as well. And
Yeah,
even then, I know
But if you're
friends
also
of mine that
going in and you're
hated
getting,
uni.
you're getting a bloody master's in English literature, you're not exactly open for opportunities, and depending on what kind of route you're going down, and do you know what I mean? Or like, you have those soft degrees that are not really gonna.
Well, it's kind of like, yeah, like there are degrees which are kind of almost like, I think the university experience is something that, like, I'm sure many people really enjoy, like just go and get boozed, like put loads of weight, like fucking just have a whale of a time.
You've got even less responsibilities than you were at school, and you're on your parents' dime, or you
guess what? Go on a gap year. That's even better.
Yeah,
There's no education. You're working your way around, but you're on your parents' dime, and you're just traveling to loads of countries around the world. Although I did work for my gap year, but I think the whole element of it is it's just not desirable enough. Like, if I have children, do you think that, like, the age that I was, the time where I was going to be going to university, like, my God, thank God I didn't, because it would have gone tits up. They would have forced me into something that I had no real desire to do. Do you know what I mean? For like 3 or 4 years, come out, would have been triple the size of being morbidly obese, like guaranteed. I would have just come out worse off, and then I would have sat in like a fucking PA job. Nothing wrong with a PA job. I know PAs that get paid fuck tons of money, but they're also
paid loads, some of them.
No. PAs that work for certain individuals get paid a lot of money, but they also have hell on earth. Like my old client who used to work for the guy at Saatchi & Saatchi, and it was just awful, like the amount she had to do, but she got paid vast amounts, something like 300k a year. Yeah. So, but
nice
they
round number.
Lovely round number, yeah. Lovely number, that. But there are standard PAs that are still getting paid 18k a year. Like, how the fuck does somebody live on that now?
That's just,
it's miserable. There's no way that you can live like, maybe down south, maybe it's just more expensive. I don't know. I think it's equal everywhere. Nobody can like sustain unless you're.
Well, they said that the average London rent is 2,700 as of next year.
My eyelash lady said to me that she has a room where, like, she said that hers has gone up from, like, they said, they just sent a mail around saying, mortgage is going up, which means out of the 6 rooms that are there, which all of them used to pay £650 the room, okay? They have now gone up to each room of £1,100 a month, okay? Each of the room. I was like, what the fuck? The mortgage is no way. Like 6 rooms. You're saying the mortgage is like $7,000 on this property. I was like, no fucking way. I was like, just because people's...
That should be illegal.
I think just because the mortgages have increased does not mean that people's rent should increase.
Can you imagine how much that Brazilian snake
fucking
of a
bitch,
woman,
yeah.
Do you know how much
I hope
she would
she's
have
fucking
said,
had a horrible time.
your rent is £10 million a month.
And if you don't transfer it to me now, I'm going to put you in a vat of acid, literally. God, fuck, I wish nothing good to happen to that woman.
I hope that whole kitchen's rotted.
Oh, fuck me, I hope it's all fallen down, to be quite honest with you. But that's when if you have friends with the gypsies, you just get them to burn it down.
Yeah,
literally. But no, I do think that if somebody's mortgage has gone up, it shouldn't be on the tenant to pay for it. I'm sorry. Just because, it's your assets, your responsibility.
Yeah, I know, but do you know people that have the financial availability to have a portfolio of properties? They're not interested in carrying the cost. They did all those interviews.
Well, it's not my fault your
on
maths
the
was bad on a
news.
fixed rate mortgage, and
Well,
now
they
it's
did all
fucking
those
gone up.
interviews on the news where they interviewed all the landlords coming out, and they were saying, "Well, don't you think the renters are being squeezed due to the cost of living?" And they've got no remorse whatsoever.
No, I'm not saying that we should be talking directly to the landlord. He's going to be like, oh, no, sorry. But, like, also, why is it my responsibility that you bought a house, do you know what I mean, that you're renting
I think
out, and
it's
then your
pretty
bills have
obvious.
gone up,
I
and then
think it's
we've got to pay
pretty
your
obvious,
bills?
especially within the United Kingdom, that after COVID, if you could put your prices up for no particular reason and squeeze the life out of people, you've done that. Because every sector has done that, from groceries to energy to, the cost of just normal goods in general, the cost of building materials. Everything's gone up in price except our coaching prices.
Oh, they have gone up, actually.
A little bit,
So, yeah, significantly have gone up. So I wouldn't even bullshit on that, Mark. And that's nothing to be fucking proud of either, because the reason our price would increase is not because, you know what I mean, it's because
you've got more value and more experience and better services. Because,
yeah,
like
that,
we
and
said,
also
we've
the fact that,
refined-
like, people don't, the same as, like, somebody wouldn't understand, like, a freelance trainer in a gym, why they charge potentially in premium areas the amount that they do is because they're giving half of that back to the gym. Do you know what I mean? Plus
Yeah,
then put on
very
tax. So you're taking fuck all money at the end of the day.
Very true.
So, no, and I've got nothing wrong with people increasing prices for products, but it's this, when you go into a rental agreement, the same as you do a mortgage, you are guaranteed or allowed to borrow X amount of money or allowed to rent that place because your affordability factor. But now with rentals, they require 2.5 to 3 times the amount per month on a rental as the minimum. And that's because there's so much, especially in London, there's so much need for rentals in London that there's, on average, between every offer that gets put in, there's about 12 other offers. Wow. So if you don't come and match that, do you know what I mean, in the sense of like, okay, well, we earn fucking 4 times the amount of rent, and or we'll pay you a year up front, or we'll do of that, which we did. Oh my God, like disgusting amounts of money.
Makes me want to
Yeah, it makes me want to vomit how much money we've paid in upfront stuff. You can't then say to somebody, oh, I'm just going to increase it by effectively another half on top, another 400 quid,
No,
okay?
unfair.
But your salary wouldn't have allowed you to get that property in the first place. The same with a mortgage. You're allowed to borrow 50 grand. You're allowed to borrow £1 million. You're allowed to borrow 500 grand. That's based off of what you earn and what your assets and salary is and what you can pay back over time. So at what point, it's different. When you have a premium product, there is going to be things like, oh, can you afford to buy a Cartier bracelet on a day-to-day basis? No, do you know what I mean? It's a gift. It's a thing. Some people can. Other people save up for it. Some people can't have it at all. It's the same, but that's a product. Product value can go up because you can or cannot have it. It's not something you need to live by. Do you know what I mean? Your rent or your mortgage is something that's over your head on a day-to-day fucking basis. It's what keeps you sheltered and warm to some degree. So no, I don't agree that they should have the ability to be able to raise tenants' like rents in any way, shape, or fucking form.
I disagree. I agree with you 100%.
I thought you said I disagree.
Well, London prices have increased 7% just this year.
But like, and all these people that own the property portfolios, who probably run a business that are paying the individuals that are renting the tenants, probably about 25k a year, maybe 40k, and then asking for 3 grand in rent.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck? Like, that's when you realise how capitalism...
Yeah, but like you just said, the demand and the supply are uneven because for every one supplier, there's 12 demand.
It's sick. Like, but then that's why they've got so many developments going up in London. All of these things just like,
but those are also going to be like 5. By the time they open and they'll be like, 1 bedroom, that's going to be 2,700 for a 1 bed, 3.5 to 4 grand for a 2 bed.
Okay, there is an argument to say that you could go and live somewhere where the location wasn't ideal. But we're also all in different demographics here. Do you know what I mean? We're all in different, money, we're all in different statuses of life. Do you know what I mean? There's certain things where if I went and lived in, I don't know, like, I did go and live in Cape Town, but it was the nice part. Like, you know, you take yourself, like, people would be like, well, you could just go and rent a 1-bedroom. Yeah, but I can't walk out the house in case I get fucking, like, I don't know, stabbed in the back. I don't know, like, somewhere really rough. Like, you know, or you could go and rents a 1 studio above a takeaway house which is raging with fucking alcoholics on a weekend, do you know what I mean, where you've got to listen to it. Or you could do that.
Yeah, or next to like a railway line or something.
But
like
if you're paying your livelihood to live somewhere, you need to vaguely enjoy it or vaguely have some value of where you're living, whether it's a studio or a 6-bedroom house.
I guess they wonder why people's mental, especially the younger generation, their mental health is so bad, is because the vast majority of your disposable income and your income in general is, you know, being portioned off towards like renting a place that you could hardly swing a cat in.
Oh, it's actually like sickening how small some of these places are. But yeah, I'm fully like, you know, I know people that rent properties out to tenants. Do you know what I mean? I don't think any of them would do what is currently happening as an overall in like the economy right now. I think they all are understanding, the people that I've worked or rent, you know, that it's their responsibility because they're the one that has the asset, do you know what I mean, that they own, do you know what I mean? And it's not the tenant's fault that their mortgage has fucking gone up. Yeah. It's nobody's fault.
Those are good landlords then.
Look, there are plenty of tenants that are awful, do you know what I mean? But I'd say that 95% of people are actually, 90% of people are actually really okay and probably pay more for rent a month than they ever will a mortgage. Literally.
Yeah, which is also really bizarre.
Yeah, oh sorry, you can't get a mortgage for that amount even though you pay it already in rent.
Yeah, you pay $3,000 a month on rent, but we won't give you a mortgage for $700.
Yeah, no, thank you.
Interesting.
But again, like, you know, I just don't think I don't think tenants should be the responsible ones. And I'd be exactly the same as if I rented out you would have to take just the cost of fucking living on board, and you take a lot. You don't take money. You don't make a profit. Do you know what I mean? I'm sorry, for periods of your life, you
can't pay the mortgage for the rental because you take the money from the tenant.
It's just bad fucking maths in my opinion.
You pay the mortgage.
But then again, those people didn't go in with the risk element. There are people that I know that are on fixed rate mortgages for the next like 2 to 4 years, and they're pretty sorted because their mortgage isn't going up. Will it increase afterwards? Yes, they know that though. They're to expect it. It's based off their salary. So their house or mortgage is based off of the salary anyway.
Interest rates could drop though.
They fucking well should do. But like I think that in general terms, like, you should, at some point in your life, you can't always profit. And some people, just because you've got an asset doesn't mean you can automatically profit.
There are some people that will profit at all costs. So.
Oh, 100%, Mark. God, we fucking have worked with enough of them. But like, yes, I agree with that, but that's everything that's wrong with society. And that's probably why we're probably due not a conservative government right now. Yeah. I'm nothing really. I don't know what to even believe.
Do you think there will be that
politics.
much of a difference between Conservatives and Labour?
No, I don't think the leaders are either strong enough. I just don't have any.
In Georgia's day-to-day existence right now, what's the Labour's name?
Keir Starmer. He went to the same school.
Yeah. What happens if he just became Prime Minister tomorrow? Do you honestly think your life is going to change?
No, I don't think my life's going to change, but I do see the significant impact of some people that are close to me that probably maybe depending. Actually, no, because people would be out of certain like elements, like dependent on. We might see like Labour government. Well, sometimes are supported. They also don't really put money into for some things that are needed. I don't fucking know. I don't really think I'm one to really pass comment.
Who's the good guys and who's the bad guys?
I don't think there's any bad guys and good guys. I think the whole government's are fucking corrupt. Do you know what I mean? I think we can go,
it's all just
it's all a bunch of fucking corrupt people anyway. Do you know what I mean? All out for their own good. And fucking COVID definitely highlighted that. Matt Hancock's little memoir.
I find it funny that private organisations and private donors fund and pay for, like, for example, Rishi Sunak, his private helicopter rides are funded by one specific individual as a donor. He's a donor.
Yeah, but that's fine. Like what? Like that's like a client of ours giving us like fucking private box in Wembley. Do you know what I mean? To see Adele, or it's like a client being like, "Oh, here's the Rolls Royce. Take this to the house." Or,
Okay.
"Oh, hi, like, can you just get this and I'll just fucking transfer you a lump." Like, I'm sorry, gym owners would know how much money laundering there is around. But no, I think it's not. I'd rather that than be spending taxpayers' money.
Sure, that's true.
Because that
Do you
should
not
be
think
going
it's a bit
towards.
sus that there'll be some form of corporate influence on, government policy?
Mark, we have and will never know, and I'm sure I don't even want to fucking know because it will rile me up. What goes on behind closed doors? Everybody's got
Yeah,
money
I
that's
would
in
love to
leadership.
know.
Do you know what I
I
mean?
would love
You
to
are
know.
not in a position of leadership if you don't have any fucking money.
Yeah, true. That
Like,
is so true.
oh wait, you'd like to run to be the US president? How much do you need? Do you know what I mean? Oh wait, you got $5 in your bank account. No, you're not going to get very far.
That's so hectic.
Oh, you've got
though.
140 grand of
If you think
student
about
debt.
that,
No,
if you think
like,
about that, like there have probably never been world leaders that have been like really poor.
well, you said to me, we could run for the mayor of London because you only need 10 grand to put in.
Yeah, I would run in mayor of London.
So that's
First
why so
thing,
many people run for it because it's 10 grand. It's not, even though,
First,
is it 10 grand? Maybe it's
I
more
would
than
get
that.
rid of ULEZ. And then people would be like, but the air quality, and then I'll get rid of congestion so the people, the traffic would flow faster.
I would create like a, you know, on the airports when they have
And then
those
you
conveyor belts which just always just move. I would just create a car system where you just get into a pod and you just go into like.
Yeah, that's what Elon Musk invented.
Yeah, I kind of for that with Elon Musk. In those like he's also obnoxious and fucking probably
Make
corrupt.
the bus
but-
free, make the tube free, subsidize it so people.
Yeah, I think the tube and the bus is far too expensive. I think about how much money they make on a day-to-day basis, but what's the alternative? Like, really, like,
Well, if you made the tubes and everything and all the public transport as cheap as humanly possible, then more people would be obliged to use it. Thus,
no, not necessarily, because then you're talking only in cities. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you're in Surrey, like, you need a car, otherwise,
well,
like, you have to walk
I guess,
everywhere.
well, then you would then have to have a.
Like, you'd have to have, like, an electric.
Spending billions and billions and billions of pounds on that HS2 rail that's going to nowhere, going to Reading. Do you know what I mean? It's going like 60 kilometres.
I think the train lines are no, forget the
then-
tube and the bus. The train lines are disgusting, but it's because they're all privately owned now. That's the problem.
Yeah, the actual cost of a train
It's
ticket
actually
is
joke. Like, I'd rather get the
is
ULEZ, the
laughable.
fucking congestion, a parking ticket before I
It's
pay
cheaper
for a
to
train
fly
ticket.
to Europe than it is to go to Bristol.
Yeah, it's actually so expensive to like just go on the train. You're like, what the fuck? And then you're around a hen party. The last time I went on the train, it was a hen party and a stag party in the same carriage.
It's
It was
really
10
sad,
a.m. in the morning. I literally was like, all I can smell is sausage rolls and alcohol and somebody that's desperate for their flaps to be wet. Like, that was literally it. Like,
I would,
that was,
if I could implement an infrastructure program that would revolutionise the UK, I would make the entire UK into like a tube map.
really?
Yeah, I think like being able to
It would encourage people to walk places in a way.
Yeah.
Like, if we could walk out of our house now and we could like jump in a pod that took us
Yeah.
maybe within 5 to 10 minutes of where we needed to be, which I know people are like, it's a bus. No, it's not the fucking same. It's a pod. But everywhere, so that you
Yeah.
had them in like, but
like
then
what
we're,
Richard Branson was doing with Hyper.
it's a bit like Hunger Games.
Yeah.
isn't
When you use magnetic levitation, so it's also fuel efficient, and then you just basically slide it across, and you can go fast speeds. So
Do you know what? One of my
there's no
clients made me
combustion.
laugh so much the other day because
But you're able to achieve such higher speeds, and they said that if they were able to implement that, you could have like a tube-like system where you could get from Manchester to London in 40 minutes.
I feel a bit sick if it was going that fast. Christ,
Well,
it's
it's like a
Concorde.
bullet train. Like a bullet train.
Do you not think your ears would fucking go funny in that?
No, because internally it's pressurized, externally it's.
Yeah, true. Actually, it's
But
like an aeroplane.
when they use that hyperloop that Elon Musk invented, the tube itself is a vacuum. hence the reason why the friction factor of it sliding backwards and forwards. So
Yeah, I think we would do well. I mean, like, people would say that, like, you know, the whole, like, petrol, diesel, like, obviously what's doing to the environment. One of my clients said to me the other day, he's got a hybrid car, which I wouldn't exactly call. She was like, actually, to be honest with you, I think it's least efficient on hybrid. It's most efficient when it's just run fucking on petrol. Mm-hmm. And then she always says to, oh, you know, our generations, because she's probably 60 now, yeah, she's like, our generation really did ruin it for all of you lot. You know, I best not use any cleaning products with too many toxins. I was like, yeah, because that's really going to save the fucking planet, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? You've just flown around the world, you know, you've just got in the car, you've gone and bought a load of consumer products, you've just gone, you know, you've just probably ordered on Amazon from China. Like, it's
like when everybody arrives at the G7 summit to talk about the environment, and everyone's arrived there with like 13 private jets
and a fucking body armored car that's flown in from.
Like, sure, mate.
I don't think you give access to humans things, you don't take them away. You have to either make them better, or you just have to, because electric cars can't be produced quick enough right now.
Yeah, and they can't mine the natural resources,
which is also really bad for the environment.
If America and the UK went to net zero, the overall impact of global warming would still be present, because the top three
BRIC
producers of global warming gases don't give a fuck.
Isn't it the BRIC countries?
Yeah, India, China,
Brazil, Russia, India,
they are
China.
going hell for leather.
Isn't Africa in there?
BRICS. Yeah, South Africa.
Of course, it's South Africa, because fucking Cyril just couldn't not fucking get himself involved.
Everyone's trying to take South Africa seriously.
It's like they get South Africa around the table. Yeah, they get around the table. It's like, we give you some money. Money, yes. I do everything for you. Yeah.
Idea.
Fuck me. Do you know what I mean? You've literally. But yeah, you're right. I mean, it's not to say that we can't make some kind of change. But I just don't think, you know, people are so, the Just Stop Oil, they're fucking like wasps in this world, but they are the only people that, look, it's not going to save anything. Everyone's got their engines running whilst you're stuck to the ground, do you know what I mean? Yeah. But like getting enraged, but there should be more education. I hope in schools there probably is about like the climate. It's more for the animals' sake and the nature that I care about. You know, the rest of it, the air pollution, look, like... we all inhale enough shit on a day-to-day basis.
There's no alternatives that is a worthy alternative to combustion engines.
The whole ULEZ thing was started based off of a child who was in hospital due to the air quality pollution.
Correct.
I'm not really for that, but I'm literally like...
Here we go.
I don't know. I think it's all... There's been a lot of arguments to whether or not the air pollution is that greatly different, but obviously Sadiq's fucking campaign is going...
all you need to do is go and watch an episode of The Crown when they had that smog where they looked out the window and it was dark.
Well, Mark, again, you're watching a Netflix program.
Maybe the smog... Well, it's just well-documented history. Maybe the air pollution is just due to the geographical location of London.
How about then people don't live in cities and it's an industrial place?
Well, you just say to yourself, I would like to get paid more than living out in a town and have access to all these things, and I carry the burden of living in a city.
I don't even think people get paid more. Like, literally.
They do in London.
In London, but I don't think you'd get paid more in every city in the UK.
Yeah, but not every city, but you would get paid more than out in the countryside, I would imagine.
But your cost of living's more, so it equals out.
Yeah, but you should also, I don't know.
The minute you got that Gorillas app and a fucking Deliveroo, you're done for. Do you know what I mean? That's your fucking livelihood
your
gone.
Bank account straight into.
It's like, what's the bank account? Food, great. Anyway, today was just a little bit of a catch up where we are. Now we've got the primary fuckeries of life a little bit clearer. Yeah. I'm going to promise a podcast in the next...
don't do it.
Next couple of weeks, we're definitely going to get back into a more generalised routine now that our routine is a little bit more stable. But yeah, I hope everybody has had a great couple of months since we've been off. Lots to come with the SoCo. I think it was a month and a half. hope so. Lots to come with Soak Up.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. Soz that we've been so fucking long.
Yeah.
Now you can just have an update and a load of whinge and a random
just people
conclusion of
just
shit.
ranting.
Yeah.
Georgia's saying fuck a lot.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Only came out. Yeah. Fuck off, everyone. Literally, that's it. Right. Everybody have a good day.
Bye.
Enjoy listening, and we will be back soon. Bye.
Bye.